Move over, Davy Crockett. There's a new Texas trailblazer in town, and their name is James Tallarico, the man who bragged our office is the first in the history of Texas to add pronouns to our official business cards.
I am running around like a crazy person today,
spreading his white skin wherever he goes.
I am not a perfect Christian.
Prophetic voices like Jesus have helped me reckon with my own whiteness, my own masculinity, and it's a painful process.
Bearing the cross of white skin and unambiguous masculinity.
I was a big nerd in high school. Never played sports. I probably shouldn't out myself like this. Sex is a spectrum, and oftentimes it can be very ambiguous. God is both masculine and feminine and everything in between. God is non-binary.
Straight from Revelations in the woke James Bible.
I want us all to be aware of that. There are many more than two biological sexes. In fact, there are 6.
And on the 7th day, they rested. But not James Tallarico. He built an ark big enough for all creatures.
To be able to write legislation that benefits not just the people, but also our animal friends.
Just like the Supreme Court said, 1 cow, 1 vote.
Now, existential, that we try to reduce our meat consumption. That's the right thing to do and the moral thing to do.
The 11th commandment. Thou shalt not smoke brisket.
I am proud to say that our campaign has officially become a non-meat campaign.
So step aside, Sam Houston. Tallarico's bravery towers over Texas. He's fighting for all 6 genders and tens of thousands of species.
I guess we just have a different moral yardstick.
You know what insults Jesus?
Binary white people who eat barbecue and remember the Alamo?
There's only been one perfect Christian.
And they certainly weren't a carnivorous, Caucasian, binary Homo sapien, according to the woke Gospel of James.
They're going to call me a radical leftist, un-Texan, un-American.
And bar none, the weirdest candidate for Senate the Lone Star State has ever seen.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I am your host, Joe Newman, a.k.a. Good Lawgic. That was an actual ad prepared on behalf of new Republican senatorial candidate James Paxton in his upcoming battle with the one and only James Tallarico, who believes God's non-binary, and that telling people we should eat vegan is going to sell well for him in Texas. I'm going to tell you this. I've seen him speak, and I'm like, this guy can be, don't underestimate. He can be someone who's able to be engaging. He can, but I'll tell you right now, the statements this guy has made, I can't imagine he's going to be Paxton. I know Paxton, people think he has his own baggage. I don't think the Republicans in Texas are going to care about whatever baggage they claim that Paxton has. I don't think that's going to be a problem for him at all. Tonight, what we got going on? Well, Jill Biden admits that she had some concerns about Joe and his actual health during his notorious debate with Donald Trump, and reveals that for the first time. I have a lot of conversation I need to have with you and others about that. Also, we have a brand new bill that's being proposed in California, which purports to actually favor illegal aliens under the California Penal Code in comparison to how they treat American citizens. I want to break down that proposal for you. DHS has been coming out and saying they have a brand new way to try and punish sanctuary cities. And I have a lot more. On top of that, I have a goal. And tonight's goal is this. I don't think I've ever given a goal quite like this. This is like a goal. I should have made it a higher stakes goal. I should have made this a much higher stakes goal, because I'm actually I'm offering you a lot more than I normally offer you. I'm saying not only are we going to have a third hour, I'm even going to have a local show. I don't think I don't think that this guy over here is gonna be able to make it in there with me for the local show. But that's gonna be like going into like hour 4. But in that local show, I plan on breaking down for you a statement Gavin Newsom made us that he said that they're gonna 100% tax any monies that J6 defendants get from the new slush fund that's designed to give retribution for the weaponization of the Department of Justice that was created by the Trump slush fund. And he said he's going to be taxing Californians 100%. I'm going to talk to you about the legality of that. A lot of people are assuming it's not legal, and they're saying things like supremacy clause and things of that nature. I'm going to break it down for you why that this is complicated. It's very complicated, and frankly, he might actually, I can understand a reading to say that he might actually have the authority to do it depending on how judges decide to read a particular passage in a landmark Supreme Court case. Anyway, that's what I got going on tonight. Anything new with you, my good friend? I have joining me tonight, if you're new to the show, this is Sin, aka Sin, from the FFS podcast. Link is in the description.
Thank you.
What's going on?
I changed my profile picture. I figured you were cool guy Joe. I was gonna be cool guy Sin tonight.
What are you talking about?
You wear your sunglasses at night. What's did
Lady
Lady Logic hit you? Hold up, Joe. Look, Joe, put something in the private chat if we need to call the cops.
I seriously can't read anything.
What's up, chat? Good to see you guys.
Oh my gosh, I see that there's a yellow super chat, and I'll tell you right now, like I see this. Honestly, the words I see is through news sounds.
No, wait, hold on. All right, third hour sounds ominous. Laughing emoji from Mistress Meg for $9.99. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Joe is currently blind. I have no clue why he's doing the show.
I'm totally blind.
Anything.
I'm totally blind. I wasn't able to read super chats without regular glasses. These are not prescription sunglasses. So it's like I don't have prescription, which that alone makes it challenging for me to read super chats. Plus, it's dimmed because it's sunglasses. So it's like it's literally like I'm totally guessing as to what's I cannot read that at all. And if you knew how big my screen was, I could say, "Oh my God, how can you not read that?"
Let's see. Take a screenshot. Let's see.
Idiots! How is anyone going to see how large it is?
You take a screenshot of your screen, and then you share that screenshot. It should show the font. You can just do a screenshot of your whole screen.
You can't appreciate how. And if you're looking on a phone, it's not going to look nearly the same as if you're looking on your TV.
Okay. All right. Okay, Joe.
It doesn't. It's not
if
going
you
to show
don't,
anything.
and look, if you can't figure out how to take a screenshot on your computer, it's all you had to say. You didn't have to. Like,
I take screenshots all the time.
Look, man, if you were gonna boomer it up,
virtually
that's all you had to say.
Every thumbnail I've ever created has a screenshot in it.
Sure. All right, buddy.
Like tonight's, like with Jill Biden, that was a screenshot I took of her, and also from the debate.
Sure.
But yeah, I see yellow. I see colors. I see colors. See after
Donald Helms 2731 for $10 says, "Get after it, Joe."
Nice. All right, this I recognize as peas and butter because I know this guy.
Yeah,
I know this guy.
What are they saying to you though, Joe?
This is a bell.
Sound it out. Use your words. Calm down, Helen Keller. Just
this is a bell.
Water.
Spur. Cat.
Context clues, Joe. Brawl Super Cat. This is a Braille super chat for Blind Joe.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You're very handsome.
Joe, this is a nightmare. I mean, I guess your brain still works as long as you don't have to read.
My brain does still work.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that this has made me sharper in other ways because I can't rely on my regular sense of sight.
Yeah.
So now I have to rely on my other senses like sound and clever deduction.
Is that what you're gonna do?
That's what I'm gonna do. My eyes do keep tearing. So
I mean,
it was either this. It was seriously either. It was a choice of either this or I just go like this the whole night.
Yeah, no, you can't do that because I do that.
Right, and I think about how lame this looks.
I mean, you don't have a moving background, a bunch of funny people on the panel.
We
to
look
make
like
it work.
We look like podcasters.
We do.
Who have been like who have like 12 people watching us.
Yeah, I mean, calm down, man. And almost nobody shows their face on my show, and we have like a couple hundred people. Well,
you're really disproving my point.
100 something people. Like last night, I think I hit 120. So it's pretty good for my little channel, little baby channel.
The goal.
Mistress Meg for $10 says the goal counter is broken. Carry on. Laughing
I don't know
emoji.
why it's been broken for like a week. How long does it take them to fix this thing?
I don't know. But I accidentally hit my goal twice the other day because I thought we didn't hit it. And then I went back and counted. I was like, oh, God, I didn't scroll up far enough. So my chat's really awesome. Thank you.
I'm showing a lot of blind faith in my audience that I'm pulling up stuff that could be like the most racist stuff in the world, and I'll never have any idea.
Joe hates it. No, I'm not gonna say that again. No, it says for $2. Wellesley 72. Joe, repeat after me. I am high as hell.
Nice.
Laughing emoji.
All right. Well, so you saw that advertisement? Did you see the advertisement that I started the show with against James Tallarico?
Yeah, who is that guy?
James Tallarico, you know who Ken Paxton is, right? He just defeated in the primary. I know you don't really follow politics. So that's why I want to make sure.
I pay attention to the big stuff recently, and I'm delving. The
You're getting better.
Are coming up, so I'm having to like start to pay attention more because I am gonna be doing shows about it and give my opinion on this stuff because everything.
Because people want to know. So
there's a Rumble rant, by the way. Somebody says.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, pull that up so I can read it for you. Thank you, by the way, Uzalian. I appreciate it. I'll have to pay attention to the entire chat now.
I'm gonna have to pop
which I normally do anyway,
chat.
But now I got to pay attention to Joe and the chat, and it's impossible.
I'm gonna. Where am I? All right, so this is able to.
I did do one. Kelly all day 365. I did.
I was able to make like much bigger, so like I can read this. It says, "Sin, don't worry, it's the normal pink eye glasses."
Oh, I mean, I wasn't worried to begin with.
It's not pink eye.
That's what Joe gets for not letting me fire the Jewish space lasers.
We don't need to worry. He will eventually learn to wash his hands before rubbing his eyes.
Yeah, why are you doing that? You're supposed to wash your hands when you leave the bathroom, Joe.
You know, you're not the first people to be making this joke. Okay, I've heard this joke before. You don't know my pain. Okay, you don't know my pain.
I've had pink eye before, but I was a little kid and had dirty hands.
You don't.
Since I've been an adult, I haven't had pink eye unless I forgot to take my contacts out.
Count this in the count, by the way, because this is $10. So count this in the count.
Okay.
But anyway,
actually, yeah, we're close.
Game back to the matter at hand. So Ken Paxton recently unseated four-term Senator John Cornyn in Texas. He's the Attorney General from Texas, who's really based. I mean, he's brought some amazing litigations, like powerful stuff designed to actually further a MAGA agenda, which is how he really earned the popularity that he got. All the good stuff that came out of Texas that was followed by Florida, it seemed to all germinate from the mind of Ken Paxton. Like, he's really, really, everything he's been pushing forward has been ultimate MAGA. Now, I know they say that there are claims that he took bribery or whatever, or that he was involved in some sort of corruption. I know that you know, the left wants to portray him as if he's some evil guy. He never had any convictions. He ended up settling a couple of them, and people try and use that to ding his credibility or in some way insult him. But the reality is, if you're looking for someone who's been promoting a MAGA agenda, there's nobody. You'd struggle to find 50 people who are, much less 100 for our Senate, who have nearly the track record he has. He has a better track record than virtually anyone in Congress. So the idea of him winning is great. Now he's running against that guy, James Tallarico, who thinks God is non-binary and that we should all be vegans. And he's literally said that. Like that wasn't like a made-up thing. He's literally said that. and stuff like this. It's actually hard to believe this is a real tweet. If you can just read this for me, because I can't.
James Tellerico says, white skin gives me and every white American immunity from the virus, but we spread it wherever we go. Through our words, our actions, and our systems. We don't have to be showing symptoms like a white hood or a Confederate flag to be contagious. Based?
There's more.
The only cure is diagnosing the virus within ourselves and taking dramatic actions to contain the spread. The first small step is proclaiming loudly and unequivocally that.
Yeah, there you go. That's him. It's hard to believe that this is a serious. It's not being said as a joke. You know, it's like this is the sort of thing like if you saw this on a parody account, you'd just be like giggling. This was said in all seriousness by someone who is now the Democratic senatorial candidate for Texas, of all states, Texas. If you told me he was like, you know, in New York, you know, California, I'd be like, okay, you know, Texas.
I'm gonna start making posts like this on my Twitter. See how fast I get nuked.
Yeah. So I think that he I don't think we have much to worry about.
Yeah, I don't think so either. That's craziness. He's supposed to be a Republican sitting here spouting all kinds of aspersions about white people. Come on, man. Like, what is that going to win you in the conservative party? What is that going to win you at all?
I don't know. What does this one say?
The goal counter is broken. Carry on. You already read that one, I believe.
Thank you.
Well, I already read that one, I believe.
Next one. What does this one say?
The goal counter is broken. Carry on. I already read that one
very
twice.
Repetitious.
You do it a third time, I'm leaving. I'm hitting leave studio. Move the joke along, Joe. Jay Schwalbach says, Joe, what do you know about the Bangladesh Donald Trump buffalo? If we were to love it. Wait, if we would love it with the red heifer, what would happen to our timeline? The Trump buffalo is real. Don't disparage him. The Bangladesh Donald Trump buffalo.
I never heard of this at all. I don't know what he's even referring to. I know the red heifer is. I don't know what
if we loved it with the red. So I'm saying if we,
I think he's meaning we crossbred it.
Yeah, if we crossbred it with the red heifer, what would happen to our? We would literally just turn in on ourselves right now. Look, chat. I don't know if you understand this. If you've noticed everybody acting crazy and things going wild, just out of the blue, things are just not like they're supposed to. Everything feels a little off. CERN, you know the whole like black hole, CERN experiment thing that's going on. They're doing it right now until the end of June. That's why everything's all topsy-turvy in your world right now.
What is the CERN experiment?
It's a big thing where they're trying to find like historical cosmic particles and stuff.
How are you spelling CERN?
CERN.
Is that an acronym?
I think so. Yeah. They're the guys that gave us the internet.
Okay. So what are they trying to do?
They literally ram particles into each other and to try to like figure out like the secrets of the cosmos. So yeah, it's going on right. Every time that experiment happens, the Hadron Collider, that's it. Every time they do that, I swear something crazy happens. It's in Switzerland, I believe is what it is. It's crazy.
Okay.
So that's why your eyes are messed up.
What does this have to do with?
I'm just saying, if that's going on right now, we bred the red heifer with the Trump buffalo, our whole timeline would just implode in on itself right now.
Oh, okay. That's where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Do you know what the Trump buffalo is?
No, I haven't seen it. I thought that was that Cenk Uygur guy. Is that not Cenk Uygur? Is that not Hassan Biker's uncle? Are we sure?
Cenk Uygur is not the Trump buffalo. That's the Trump bull.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm
So
just saying.
Yeah. All right.
The world's crazy. I don't even know where my Zippo is right now. See? I'm just telling you. It's upside down. Topsy-turvy.
What's going on?
Wellesley 72 says, Joe, the 70s called. They want their glasses back.
Lady Logic gave me these. It's really just purely, it's not for the look. It's more for the fact that I'm in less agonizing pain.
Yeah, so nobody has to look at those weird wondering eyes that you have going on right now. $10 from Aaron Schroyer says, happy sensational Wednesday. Clip-on sunglasses are a real thing, by the way. Love you. Love Sin. Love the chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Then a series of bats says, Joe, they've been a member for 17 months. Thank you so much.
Nice. Hey, series of bats.
Joe, since you can't read, I hope you only have grossly inappropriate things for Sin. Since Sin has to read just all the inappropriate things. Don't do that to me.
It's a different level. When it comes to inappropriate things, you're talking about a whole different level to cross his threshold than mine. So
But so I'm in somebody else's house, so I normally try to go by their rules. Wellesley 72 says, Chips theme song. I don't know the Chips theme song, so I can't do that one for you.
The glasses.
I guess that's it.
The glasses are the glasses that Eric Estrada.
You're not Eric
Larry
Estrada.
Wilcox used to wear on Chips. Yeah.
Kimmy Hunt for $2. Joe sent you a pic of the Trump buffalo.
Oh, thank you kindly. Let me see what we're talking about. So we're all on the same page here, This is pretty funny. All right, we'll pause here for another second before we get to this, just because. This looked worth it. Donald Trump, the buffalo has been spared from sacrifice in Bangladesh after going viral. Donald Trump, the rare albino buffalo named for its blonde tuft of hair, was hours away from being sacrificed for Eid al-Adha until the government stepped in. It has already been sold for ritual slaughter when viral videos turned it into a national attraction. Crowds started flooding the farm to see the nearly 1,500-pound animal in person, forcing officials to intervene due to security concerns. Now the buffalo is headed to the National Zoo in Dhaka instead.
That is Cenk Uygur right there. That's the guy. I'm waiting for him to tell me on the Young Turks. All right, look, they zoomed out. You would see the Armenian broad sitting beside him.
That's pretty funny.
By the way, if I'm reading all the super chats, I get half of them, right?
You get half of whatever I can see.
Go ahead, smart guy. Read it then. Go ahead, boss man. Joey, I'm going to locals to chat. Send the Sing I companion. I think the show was in my Saturday morning lineup when I was a child. I'll send you the link to the Trump buffalo. There you go.
What was in the Saturday morning lineup?
I think he's talking about Chips, probably. I think the show was in my. Oh, Send the Sing I companion is what he's saying. It was a show when he was a kid. Thank you, Joe Schwalbach. I appreciate that. Or Jay Schwalbach.
All right, I want to talk to you about Jill Biden.
What's he doing now? Besides weekending at Bernie's, an old man around the beach.
All right. Well, as we see here in this story, that's not going to get. Which one is you? That's you. There's all these different tabs, and they all look the same from where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
They all look the same. Right. So, former First Lady. I'm going to have to make this a little bigger if I'm going to see it.
I mean, I could read it for you.
It's not big enough. It's not big enough.
Jesus, Joe.
This I can read. Former First Lady Jill Biden says she thought her husband was having a stroke during his 2024 debate against Donald Trump.
Yeah, me too.
Jill famously boasted on stage with Joe Biden after the debate about how he did such a good job. I thought, oh my God, he's having a stroke, and it scared me to death, Jill Biden now admits. Great example of elder abuse. So this is where she makes this stunning admission, and it is pretty stunning when you think about it.
Were you horrified as you saw it unfold?
I wasn't horrified, I was frightened because I had never, ever
What's the difference?
seen Joe like that.
With the COVID, excuse me, with
I can't tell the difference between the Joes on the screen now.
do with
Aviator Joe.
if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden.
Before
Trump stank face that whole time. I'm
His
sorry.
face-
Pause
His
it.
face
Look
is
at
great.
stank
His face
Like,
is great. He's like, what the hell?
this
is
guy
that?"
is having a stroke. I know he is.
He actually
Look
said
at
afterwards, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't think he knows what
Yeah.
he's talking about.
I don't think he
That-
knows what what he's saying.
But actually, on
Anybody
that
know?
line, he said, yeah, you beat the hell out of Medicare. I think that's what he...
Watch just look at his just play it. Watch his stank face. It's so funny.
That's great.
Oh man.
With the COVID, excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with.
What? What?
Wait, what? Excuse me, Joe.
We finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden.
before or since.
I'm sorry, his face is classic. I just want that face on a shirt. I want that face right there as he's turned to the right looking at him. That's the face I want on a shirt, just like stank facing everybody.
This face.
That one right there. Just excuse me. What'd you do? What'd you say?
It is great.
Before or since. Never.
Or since?
Yes. Or
You've
since.
never seen him like
Never.
that?
No.
What happened?
I don't
I
know.
thought he was having a stroke too,
And then
Jill.
as
I didn't
watched
know.
it, I thought, oh my God, he's having a stroke. And it scared me to death.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the. And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do?
What? Look at his face. Look at his face. It's like he's
I
like
don't
in
know,
another.
Jill. I think
he's like in another planet.
I think I kicked his ass. I don't. It's what people
Look at
are
his
saying.
look at his face. He looks like, you know, like someone who's retarded.
Well, not just that. So I had an uncle that had frontal lobe dementia. Like he was getting that, and there was always this like happy to see you face is what I called it.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. Like he's starting to get some form of dementia. Like 100%. He's just happy to be there. He's happy to be there. That's it. Yeah, nailed it.
And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Why?
Were you horrified?
Sometimes I
So-
feel like Donald Trump.
So my question for you is, if you thought your loved one was having a stroke
Yeah.
on national TV,
Mm-hmm.
would you just like, and you actually, you know, loved them, would you just let them continue?
No.
Like, how do you allow that to just keep
No.
going on and on? I mean, how power hungry, desperate for power are you
Yeah.
that you just let him continue? That was like 10 minutes into the thing.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have. I would have walked out, just been like, F this country. I don't care. I'm taking my husband home, my wife home, whatever. And I don't care anymore. Look, let Kamala come in here and do this because my husband just blinked out on everybody. And if you can't see this, at that point, you don't care about the country.
It's not you don't care
Everyone
about
that's
the
trying to
country.
continue
You
to run
don't. You
it.
don't care about this man who you're
No, what I'm
married
saying
to.
is like anybody that's still trying to run him at that point doesn't care about this country.
Right.
So like
Right.
I'm taking my husband, I'm leaving. I'm going home.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you think he's having a stroke, then he needs medical care
Right
ASAP.
then. At the,
Yes,
exactly
not in
at that
5
moment,
minutes, not in 5 minutes and 10 minutes or an hour and a half when this thing ends. He needs medical care now.
immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't. I mean, like, frankly, I'm not sure what the hell they would do for a stroke. Like, I always wondered,
Get
like,
him on
what?
blood thinners.
Yeah, I guess.
So I knew somebody was going to do that in the chat. I'm sorry, Joe, but I knew somebody in the chat was going to put, quote, I would take my husband home, sin. Thank you, chat, for doing that. Okay? I'm saying if I was Jill, I would have taken Joe home.
So you're saying tell us what else you were thinking about, like if you were a woman.
If I no, look here, bro. I won't read another thing for you. All right. Good luck. You better play nice.
I'm gonna be like,
right?
Yeah, no, I'll tell you that I think it's such a horrifying display, and the left loves to pretend that this is something that any normal wife would do. Like, you would totally let your husband stay out there for another hour after you thought he's having a stroke. Like, why would you possibly allow for that? How would you, if you're really thinking that? This is Dr. Jill Biden. So, and she's sitting there, and I know she's not a medical doctor. I know that was just an honorary degree that was conferred upon her for being an idiot. But still, I mean, that this woman here has so little regard for her own husband that she would allow him to continue out there is just horrifying.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But I'll tell you something. I don't think that she thought that. I'll tell you right now. I think that in this interview over here, that when she's talking here, this whole thing is a lie. I think she's lying to Sunday Morning, which I'm assuming is some sort of leftist show. That I think she's lying to them to sort of pretend that he wasn't like this all the time. I think she saw this and she was horrified that he was having another episode like he regularly would have. Like he was having one of his bad moments. Even going back to the 2020 election, he would have what they called lid days. Do you remember this?
No.
On lid days, these were days that he just had to like cancel campaign events because he wasn't feeling up to it. This is the person who supposedly got 80 million votes, that he would have lid days. And I think lid days was basically like his brain isn't working today, so we're just gonna come back, try to pump him full of the good juice, and then we'll come back tomorrow.
Yeah, try to get him stable so they could actually run him out there to do events and everything.
And that's what I'm saying is I don't think she was horrified that she was worried about his health. I think she was horrified that she saw her re-election dreams going up in smoke. That's the thing that was horrifying her. And she can't say that, because if she says that, then everyone's like, you evil manipulative bitch. Like, you knew that this dude was basically incapacitated for years and you kept pretending that he's totally normal. So instead she tries to pretend that this was a one-off.
Yeah.
And
it's disgusting. Whether it's a one-off or not, you don't care.
Exactly. That's where I'm going.
Now you're trying to get pity points and pity votes or whatever for the Democratic Party. Like, it was unfair, everything that happened. You should really give us another shot, is what it feels like. I
mean, I can't believe she's thinking that, her husband has a shot at re-election.
No, but they're going to tout them around, as people to listen to about who you should vote for.
Yeah, I think it's more a matter of legacy at this point.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere.
So to save him being kicked out of the race. So.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And it's sort of to save face and say, like, okay, look, he just had a bad day and maybe something happened to him on that day. He had some sort of episode that day, which has never happened since, or before or since. So it was like, totally unpredictable thing. But this is classic Biden cover up, as Matt Van Swal points out in this comment over here.
Mm-hmm.
We can also talk about how Joe Biden dropped the fact that he was diagnosed with cancer the night of Jake Tapper's book on him. And I don't know if you remember this. Jake Tapper basically did this whole expose of like, oh, what the media helped cover up, as if he himself wasn't part of that very media and complicit in it 1,000%. But he was the one asking that question there, in fact. and pretending that like, oh, everything's totally normal here.
Yeah.
But then he writes this whole inside the White House book where he's basically saying how the media covered up for his infirmity. And when he dropped that book, which Democrats hated him for, that day, the Bidens came out and said, hey, Joe's got cancer.
Yeah.
Which we never heard about ever since.
Yeah, I forgot about that. The cancer diagnosis just disappeared.
Yeah.
Just poof, and went away.
How are the cancer treatments coming, Joe? How are the cancer treatments coming? Let us know. Jill, tell us all about the cancer treatments. It's retarded. It's ridiculous. They literally just make up anything. And they're shameless. Just shameless. There's no way if he had cancer, we wouldn't be getting updates. People would be genuinely concerned, with the 7 fans he has across the country.
Yeah.
Would have legitimate concerns. But this family was just disgusting. I'm so glad we're done with them.
Yeah, the whole thing with like the legacy Democrats, they're all gross. Every one of them. It's so. I honestly don't know where their heads are at. The things that they do, it's never been good for the country once that I can think of. I mean, not in our modern times, like not in like our generations of Democrats. Everything has been just vile and gross and like tearing people apart through like race and crap like that. It's gross.
So I want to just change gears up here for a moment. I think there was a chat that came in here that I don't know. I don't think we read this one.
Tammy Fayette says, Joe and Sin. My apologies for being late. I'm sure you noticed. I did. I was actually about to put in the chat.
Where the hell is Tammy?
Where's Tammy at? Where the hell is she?
What is going on? I'm
gonna leave if Tammy doesn't show up. So it's one of the only reasons why I come here. All right. But it says, I'm sure you noticed, right? Who am I? Tammy, the famous Tammy Fayette. Never mind. Here's my $5. Thank you so much, Tammy.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you very, very much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So I wanted to call to your attention the redistricting efforts that I'm sure you're aware are going on across the country. And every time they happen, they're getting challenged. Well, yesterday, I was pleased to inform my audience that the Florida Supreme Court upheld the Florida redistricting. And today we got more good news. And that specifically is that the Missouri Supreme Court has just upheld the state's new 7-1 Republican Democrat congressional map, allowing it to go in effect for the 2026 midterms. Another seat lost by Democrats. And every time they lose, we gain a seat, they lose a seat. That has an impact on 2 people, because instead of them having a Democrat, they lose out 1 Democrat and we gain 1 Republican. So you hear about 1 seat and you think it may not be that big a deal. When you realize it's 2 seats and that this is happening like roughly a dozen times, this literally can change the landscape of the parties of the House, as we discussed in the past. I believe. I think we were talking about how we were speculating, if you're a Democrat, what do you do? And I was telling you, I thought that they're probably gonna have to try to figure out a way to pack the court.
Yeah, that's their only option.
They have nothing left. They have nothing at all.
So you think this whole ruling like burned them that much? That there's that few, like, there's going to be that few Democrat seats.
This is really the tip of the iceberg.
Mm-hmm.
There's more to come out of Georgia. There's more. There's just, and then here's the thing is that there's all sorts of questions as far as even in states that don't want to do it, we're going to start seeing litigations that the maps they have are unconstitutional, that were specifically favoring Black people are unconstitutional and a violation of the 14th Amendment. So, because they're racist. So I think that we're going to start seeing this come up a lot and push and more pushing for there to be redistricting, which is all this can do. There's no question this is terrible for the Democrats. The question is, how big of a bloodbath is it? and for how long a scale? This decision in Louisiana versus Calais is monumental and will likely change the House for decades. It likely has that potential. That's how significant a thing this is. And it's not just the House. Even more importantly than that, it's the local races, which are also the gerrymander on the state level, not just for their federal House seats, but they all have their stupid little maps, which are designed to make sure there's a ton of Democrats. And they say that this can really affect hundreds of seats across the country, where we can end up seeing Democrats being completely stripped of power in one state after another, because these were maps. They had to create maps to help Black candidates, or Democrat candidates, not even Black candidates, but Democrat candidates in local elections, in state assemblies and state senates. So, I think that this is something that can actually have a very, very dramatic impact on who's governing this country for the foreseeable future. And it's just a reminder, think of how balanced it was when there was so much of a tilt in their favor, and illegal and unfair tilt in their favor. This is how unpopular Democrat policies are. So,
yeah, I mean, they're not,
because we were balanced. It was like kind of like 50-50 across the country, with them having these hundreds of bogus seats. Without the hundreds of bogus seats, they're screwed. That's my point, as to like how unpopular they are.
I don't disagree. I don't think I've ever met a true blue Democrat in my entire life. Like the type of person that's like vote left no matter what. Like just vote Democrat Party down the line.
No blue no matter who.
I mean, I don't think I've ever met any in real life though that do that. I've met some that are like, I'm liberal, I'm Democrat, I'm left leaning, but they'll vote like Democrat in one area and then
dude,
Republican in others.
You live in Alabama, where
I'm talking about outside
cars. You're like, it's just
I go outside of my state, Joe. I know people across the country.
I've never met anyone who's a real Democrat. Are you
I've
kidding
just
me?
never met one of those. Like, I'm sure I've seen them like online, like at rallies and stuff like that. But actual meeting someone and talking politics.
Never met a Democrat in your life.
Not one that's just like, I vote the party line. I just vote D down the line. I've just never met one. I've met Republicans that are like that. They're just like, we vote R all day long. But that's, again, I am in a conservative southern state, so that makes sense. But I know people from California, I know people in New York, and they're left leaning, but they're not. They just vote full Democratic Party. Yeah. So it shows me, or at least in an anecdotal way, it makes me go, yeah, I don't think they are as popular as they think they are, or as they pretend to be. Where all
it is very anecdotal, because in the Northeast over here, I'm in New York City. If you're a Republican, you have no chance of being elected as a judge. Zero.
Mm-hmm.
And no Republicans even run, because it's like there's no point. So you basically all the judgeships are basically appointments that it's like you rub shoulders with the right people and basically get the nomination. And once you have a nomination with little d next to it, you're good to go.
Everything I do has a little d next to it, but that's neither here nor there.
That's pretty much that's the story of your life.
But no, I know there's like people that do that. I've just
Well, welcome to the following therapy session for sin.
That's not I hate you sometimes. You have super chats that now you need me. Go ahead.
Did we do this one yet?
Yeah, we already did that forever ago.
This one? We did.
No.
This one was the heifer.
Yeah, that was the Trump Buffalo. Go ahead.
This one?
We did that one. Mm-hmm. We did that one. That was the last one we did, I believe. Kimmy Hunt for $2 says the Dems never mentioned him like he never existed. Yeah, Biden poofed and disappeared off the record. Gone, done. He doesn't exist no more. Don't talk about him. Let's just brush that under the rug. It was Kamala the whole time.
But there's a lot of talk that she's looking to run again in 2028.
Also,
so pretty she does.
There's 3 rants. Zellion's telling me. So
Zellion's saying there's 3 rants.
Yeah. So let's get through the super chats, and then we'll get to the rants, and we'll get back on topic. All right. Class of 21. Hey, thank you so much, Class of 21. Good to see you. Said, did Joe kill the Rumble stream? Joe kills everything. Joe kills my soul every Wednesday. I come in here so happy and giddy, and then I hang out with Joe, and I'm so sad.
It must have been very stressful for you not to be able to say happy and gay, because no one uses the term giddy. Yeah, go on.
Jay Schwalbach says, "You're not on freaking locals. No soup for you."
I'm not locals.
Is that
It says, "You're not on."
That's not possible. Is that really
That's what
true?
it says, man. It's what he says. I don't know. I didn't do it.
Locals is open. Locals. In fact, I see Fans is in there. I think it's Fans. Yeah, it is Fans. Just I recognize this picture from earlier. He's talking about like my eyes. Gosh, there's so. I'll even prove it to you. I don't know what he's talking about. I mean, maybe he's saying no soup for you because you don't have locals. Like maybe that's what he's saying. But this is what they're putting.
Ooh, that zoom in is.
This.
That zoom in was bad.
This is what.
Okay. What is that? An oxalotl?
I don't know. I think it's supposed to be like my eyes.
That is you. That is
Yeah.
that is your eyes right now. You showed me. He showed them to me before the show. It looked like they were like escaped from Alcatraz, trying to get out of his head, going in opposite directions. It was crazy.
They're not going in opposite directions.
They are literally going in opposite directions.
It's a lie. All right. I think we got this one next. Joe.
Kelly B, 1977 says, "Joe, I've learned so much from you." Oh, that's sad. The shades, I love that for you.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. And thank you. This is so kind.
Aaron Troyer says, "What do the Dims do? They cry like the little beaches they are."
Like the little beaches they are. That's all they do. What else do we got here?
I don't know. I can't tell you.
I got this.
It was Alien. You want me to read that one?
Can you read it?
Yeah, I lived in Washington State. I met a ton of them. Way more than people who vote R no matter who.
I'm not sure I've ever met someone who votes R no matter who.
I have tons of them.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, again, I do live in a red state. Got here, Joe channeling Nick tonight. LOL, God bless. I'd have to do the same. Infection of iris in both eyes. Most painful thing I've had to deal with. That's would tickle.
All I can think about is just how bad my eyes are. Like how painful my eyes are. That's literally like all I think about all day long.
Just turn the lights off, Joe. Just go into that sweet, sweet, sweet dark place.
You think I should do that? I'm thinking about turning the lights off.
Uzelian says, "You can talk about the weekend at Bernie's and Old Man Around the Beach. You're doing it live on stream." It's great. It's good stuff right there.
Oh God, it's terrible. All right. Well, where are we? That was, by the way, the second $10 one from Uzelian, and when we're keeping count here. So. Now, it's great that we have all these Republicans, but the problem is that Republicans don't always do very Republican type things. And that is a problem. Breaking: South Carolina Senate rhinos block redistricting map that eliminates Clyburn's gerrymandered seats. Now, they had blocked it once before. This is the second time that's been brought up to them. And they clearly have a great love for Clyburn. South Carolina Senate rhinos strike again. The South Carolina redistricting map that eliminates Democrat Clyburn's gerrymandered seat is likely DOA. Over the weekend, the South Carolina Senate advanced a 2026 redistricting map that eliminates its racially gerrymandered seat. However, on Tuesday, a cloture vote to force debate in the South Carolina Senate failed. Early voting begins today. Here are the South Carolina Senate rhinos who voted to kill the new redistricting map, citing the Democrat argument that early voting starts today. Bennett, Campson, Cash, Cromer, Davis, Hembry, Johnson, Massey, Peeler, Rankin, Stubbs, and Zell is schmucks. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We need to have them removed. What are you giggling about?
It's just I don't know, something about your anger is not, it's not coming through for me tonight. as vivid, as realistic. It's more like it's put on because you're not even thinking about how bad all this stuff is.
I see. That's not true. That's not true. I'm very much here. What are you trying to say?
There we go. That's what I needed. That's the angst I needed.
Bite me. Here's another comment about this. The GOP-led Senate, South Carolina Senate on Tuesday voted against the plan to advance a new congressional map. This is from Politico and Poll Tracker. That they say South Carolina State Senate votes against the redistricting in 26-18 votes. 6R 1D congressional map stays in place. This is Clyburn's section. It goes all the way down to.
It's a massive section.
Because they had to pull from here, pull from there to try and make it some sort of stupid thing. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's really sickening. It's really sickening. Bunch of freaking rhinos.
Somebody says anger. It's Joe's histrionic personality disorder. Red. Come on, man.
That's not very nice.
I don't think you have histrionics.
Did we do this one yet?
We sure did. Yeah, we did that. Thank you, Aaron Troyer. And then Tammy Fayette for $2 says Sin Giddy. Thank you so much. I am a pretty jovial, giddy person.
I've gotten a lot of comments about your incessant laughter.
I can't help it, man.
People tell me you sound a little bit like a deranged, crazy person.
I am.
I get that a lot.
Really?
So I don't get you're a lot like a deranged, crazy person. I just get a lot of people telling me that you sound a little bit like a deranged, crazy person.
Because I am. All this stuff is crazy to me. Like paying attention to the political side of our world right now is insane. All of it is upside down and topsy-turvy. And I'm looking at there's a GIF out there of a cartoon dog sitting in a house on fire, and he just goes, "This is fine." That's me 24/7, just going, "This is fine. This will work. It's okay." There's nothing else I can do but laugh at the insanity that is around us. Kelly All Day 365 says, "What is Joe's eye condition? He got hit in the eye by Lady Logic. He mouthed off a little too much. He didn't go get the 2 liters quick enough, and
I feel like I gave too low a threshold for tonight, considering what I was offering up. So I'll tell you this: I'll take off the eyeglasses and let you all see. If I get 20, if we had 20 $10 super chats, like that's like the higher level thing. The higher level thing.
We hit 20 super chats and we'll go. Jay Schwalbach for 5 says, "I went to locals and had your May 18th show. I had to go to notifications, click on that, then pull it up. This is what he was trying to go. But a lot of people say they love my laugh. Don't mess with the man who still uses a Zippo. My Zippo's on the other side of the house. I'm so mad. I can't leave jokes. He can't read anything."
Oh yeah. To answer your question though, I have corneal erosion.
No,
which it's very uncommon to have that in both eyes, but I do. So I actually made an appointment just to update those of you who are genuinely concerned for my health. I actually made an appointment today to meet with an eye surgeon a week from today.
Nacho Kitty, watch it.
But it looks as if in my right eye is almost certainly going to need eye surgery. The left eye, hopefully, the prior treatments will be deemed sufficiently effective. But I wake up every 3 hours in agony from my eye. So like just fighting back, screaming in pain. So
Chad, what do you tell a Joe that has 2 messed up eyes? Nothing. Lady Logic already told him twice.
Nice.
Andrew Bronca for 5 says, "Thanking Joe is wearing the aviators to cover up the black eye he exchanged with Ricada." That was funny, by the way, Nick. If he's watching the show, I want him to know that was hilarious. I had people, and I don't even know Nick that way, but I had people asking me, "Wait, why has Nick got a black eye again?" And I'm like, it's obviously a bit. He's wearing the same tank top, and that black eye clearly looks a little shiny, like it's makeup, people. And then he wiped it off, and I was like, "Good job, man! Bravo, Nick."
Yeah, well, yeah. So I am dealing with corneal erosion. And Lady Logic suggested that my eyes may not be as painful if I wear shades. So, and she was right.
It's painful if you'd quit giving her lip too. Miss Fem Natel for $10 says Sin's laugh is my favorite part of Wednesday's show. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. There you go.
Some people like the psycho.
Some people, I'm telling you, it's fine. Everything's fine. It's all burning down, guys. $10 from Roarcast says, thanks for the good entertainment and information. I got engaged on vacation in Florida. Wish me luck making babies. Congratulations. Seriously, that's fantastic. Finding somebody that will put up with your crazy and you'll put up with their crazy, and you want to try to make children and bring them into this crazy world. Congrats. Wellesley 72 for $2 says Joe looked at the burning bush like he's Moses.
Do you know who Al Green is?
Yeah, the singer, R&B singer. What?
You make it so hard. So I try to tell people, no, he adds to the show. He's got such great insights. You make it so challenging sometimes. So challenging. Al Green is a House member from Texas, a Democrat House member who loves yelling at Trump. This was him yelling at Trump at his State of the Union speech. He just got up there and started shaking his cane in the most pimp way imaginable. As the Republicans shouting him down.
Based.
That was the Republicans shouting him down when he started shaking his literally saber rattling. You son of a bitch!
What are you gonna do, old man? Calm down.
And he is much older than you would imagine.
He looked like a caricature of a human being.
Yeah,
it was funny looking.
I mean, seriously, who walks around with a cane like that? Other than like people who basically have you're supposed to be walking with a cane like that. You got Blossom and Candy walking on either side of you. And this doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense at all. But here we go. Al Green finally met a ballot he couldn't impeach. How big do I? Yeah. I'm gonna let you. Representative Al Green. I seriously can't. This is so. My eyes are so bad. Go ahead.
Representative Al Green, Democrat of Texas, finally met a vote he couldn't table, stall, scold, or impeach. Christian Menefee, Democrat of Texas, the current U.S. representative for Texas' 18th congressional district, defeated Green in the Democratic primary runoff for the newly redrawn 18th district.
So understand this. You remember how Texas redistricted. So one of the districts that was redistricted was his 18th district.
Yeah.
So now it's a whole different map than what his normal voters are who are voting for him in primaries. So he lost in a primary. He didn't even lose an election because it was redrawn. He doesn't even get.
He didn't even make it there. Is what you're saying.
Exactly. He didn't even make it to November. He lost in a primary to a different Democrat.
You think he shakes his cane at everybody like around his house?
He does.
You know what I mean? He just shakes it at his wife. She says something to him. He just starts shaking the cane.
I've thought about getting a cane just for the ability to shake it at Lady Logic.
That makes sense.
If I shake
well, you need protection after she's popped you in the eyes a couple times.
I'm feeling like or I could sit on my front stoop and just
shake
sort
the
of
cane at the world.
Get off my lawn!
Yeah, I get it. That makes sense. Yelling at clouds. Old Joe yelling at clouds.
Get off.
All right. Says it wasn't even close. Menefee was 68.6% to Green's 31.4%, with 61% of the vote counted when the race was called. Jeez. For anybody tired of Green's endless impeachment theater against President Donald Trump, the result brought the rare political pleasure of watching voters reach for the hook themselves. Oof. Green has represented parts of Houston area since 2005, and his long career can't be reduced to one obsession. Still, the obsession became impossible to miss. In December 2025, Green filed H-Rex 939 to impeach President Donald Trump, accusing him of abuse of power and obstruction. The House voted 237 to 140 to table the measure, with 47 members voting present from the Texas Tribune.
Yeah. Sorry, he wasn't from the 18th district. He was from the 9th district, but that's been
redrawn into the 18th. Yeah, it's been absorbed.
It's been absorbed. So that's nice news that we're not going to have to see Al Green, who's been there for 20 years. All of these people here who are so long in the tooth, 20 years. This week we lost a senator who's been there for 24 years, and this dude has been there for over 20 years.
It's almost like the world is healing, right?
It is. It's like the world is healing, and I can't even see it. This is appropriate.
That's the way it should be.
That's the way it should be.
I clicked this one by accident. That doesn't seem like you're trying to be abusive to your co-host. You're seeing I host. That's not abusive at all. That doesn't make me feel.
You're
bad.
like, no. This makes you almost like you're like the Your role is like the mimers, not the mimers. Like you're the deaf. The
lady always doing like hand signals.
You're a hand signal woman.
Yeah,
in the corner there.
Yeah.
So this way, deaf people can now understand my show.
Chad, I'm just gonna make things up. So you're just gonna get a bunch of gobbledygook. I don't know how to speak sign language. Okay.
I don't remember ever even making this particular.
I mean, I know a couple
format.
hand signals. All right, but Chad,
I don't even know why I have this format here. This seems like the stupidest layout for a StreamYard layout imaginable. Like, what is the context? I see here that I think I have like multiple people I'm able to put on this side here. What is the context? Let's try this.
Show dominance.
There you go.
Now that's the way it should be, right there. I should be the main guy here, and Joe should be in the corner because, well, he's blind. He's just listening. He's not participating tonight. And he can't even read his own articles. There you go. That's it. Stop. Whoa. There's ladies in the chat.
All right.
Can we fix this? This makes me feel uncomfortable.
It is. That's why I said I don't know why I even have this. I don't even know why I have this layout.
I feel better. No, it's StreamYard. That's one of their automatic ones.
It is one of the ones. It's such a stupid layout.
It is. It's bad. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So it's nice to see that he's been toppled and he's gone.
I agree.
Don't think about him anymore. I also want to talk to you all about. I didn't even put this. Should I save this for hour 3? I should say this for hour 3 because I was going to talk about Iran and developments in Iran, which I forgot to even put in my description because I had so much to cover tonight.
Got you.
But I do feel like I'm gonna hold off in Iran for now. But I have there's a lot. I've got a lot there going on in Iran. Instead, let's talk about DHS and their new thing. You're gonna like this. You ready?
Okay, I'm here.
All right. DHS doubles down on plan to cripple all international travel into airports in sanctuary cities, including New York City. Now, this is something that actually could greatly impact me in a very negative way. So I live in Northern Jersey. So the airport that I tend to use is Newark. And I know you're probably unaware of this, but there's all these different rallies that are happening in Newark by the ICE detention centers that are over there. So,
yeah.
And they've only been escalating over the last week or so, where there's just been a lot of lunacy that's been going on there from the leftists trying to make a statement of some kind by the Newark ICE detention facility. And so this theoretically would affect international travel. There's 3 major airports that I have access to potentially for international travel. LaGuardia is really more domestic than we have. The 3 major airports we have are Newark, LaGuardia, and Kennedy. LaGuardia is really more for domestic travel. It's really for New York City. It's really JFK, and for Jersey they use Newark International. But now DHS is under new DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen is talking about the idea of potentially banning all international flights in and out of sanctuary cities. And even though this has potential to seriously impact me personally, because I have family that is now abroad, and if I ever want to travel abroad, the only airports I've ever used for international travel have been JFK and Newark, and both of these could be on the firing line if, in fact, this plan comes to fruition.
Wait, so how would this even work, though?
Well, just read it. We'll see.
Zoom in a little bit for me. Washington. Well, that's all right. There we go. Washington Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen doubled down Tuesday on threats to halt immigration and customs processing at international airports in New York, New Jersey, and other jurisdictions that refuse to cooperate with his department. Mullen told Fox News host Sean Hannity, he does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Does he?
Yeah, he brags.
Sean Hannity?
Yeah, he brags about it all the time. It's crazy. That federal immigration, I know politics, that federal immigration agents have no obligation to assist in the customs process for tens of millions of travelers annually at so-called sanctuary jurisdictions. Officials won't let the worst of the worst criminals, criminal illegal aliens be deported. They're barricading our employees from coming in and out of the facility. Then why are we processing international flights into the airport there? Asked Mullen on Hannity. Yeah, that's weird. Why even?
Yeah, it actually is a very logical thing. You don't want to let us process them, so we can't let flights come in and out of there.
Yeah, if we can't do our job, then why are we allowing people to just come in unchecked, unfettered? You don't have the employees to do it. You're not letting us do it. Then fine, we'll just have to stop those from coming in to protect our country.
And that's the only way to protect our country is if we stop international flights.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It's rationally related by any measure of the term.
We are currently drawing up plans to say, listen in these sanctuary cities where the local radical left Democrats aren't allowing us to do our job, enforce federal laws, then we shouldn't be processing international flights into their cities, either because they don't want us to enforce immigration, added the DHS boss.
Yeah, so that's the article. So tell me your thoughts on this plan.
I mean, it's rational. It's going to be annoying for anybody. You've got these staunch Democrats, though, that are not going to let up. They're gonna bully the DHS and be like, "No, we're just not going to do it." And you're gonna end up. Somebody's gonna have to step in, but who steps in there?
Well, obviously, this will go to court.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, in New York City, you're gonna see Kathy Hochul. You're gonna see my new governor. What's her name? That weird that woman, Sherrill. You're gonna see Gavin Newsom in L.A. You're gonna see Massachusetts. They're all gonna come running in there and basically screaming that this is illegal and they don't have a right to shut down international flights. That's what this is going to be a legal battle.
Yeah, how long is it going to take to go to court, though?
It'll probably be relatively quick. I think we'll have a final determination on this within 3 to 6 months after it's. When I say final determination, what I mean is this: so they're going to have to come up with a plan. The reason that they don't just roll out a plan is because the Trump administration is very adroit at ensuring that when they roll out a new executive order, when they roll out some new policy or procedure, that they try to give it as strong a legal basis as possible so that it can withstand the inevitable challenge in courts. So we see them do this all the time. And that's the reason that the Trump administration has had such surprising success in courts. It's not simply because people say, "Oh, it's 6-3." No, it's because they've been doing what they've been rolling out in these various EOs and these various policy changes has been very shrewdly thought out as to where can we find statutes or case law that support this position that we're taking now. And I think that's probably why they haven't rolled it out yet, is because they want to figure out how do we best fortify this for when it's facing a legal challenge, that we can give judges a basis to hang their hats, that they have to recognize our authority to basically shut down international flights from these particular airports.
Yeah, but are they going to do some sort of like injunction and say, all right, DHS can't do this, we have to let it go through? Or are they going to say, no, DHS can do this, you can't stop them from doing it, whatever, because 3 to 6 months at peak travel season could cripple the airlines.
Well, so what I would expect to see is this. Imagine policy gets rolled out in a week or two, right? So at that point, so you'll see all these states will band together or individually and go to each try to take as many cracks at it as possible. But basically, you'll see them running to district court in the Southern District of New York, or the Northern District of Jersey, or in California, and you'll see them running to court basically saying this new policy or EO, depending on how it's framed, is unconstitutional and it's violating our rights and it's unfair and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And we should anticipate, given the history that we've seen from these district courts, that they will grant a TRO and say we're putting a pause on this new policy / EO, and then that will go to the appellate court. Once it gets to the appellate court level, appellate courts have been very much a mixed bag, sometimes shooting down district courts, sometimes upholding the district courts.
Yeah.
It's really 50-50. Now, this would be a very dramatic thing. This would be a very, very dramatic thing. This is a policy which is affecting everybody.
It's affect everyone. I got
this
friends.
affects me.
Yeah.
This affects, as I'm saying is.
But what's the timeline on that, though? Because a couple months could, we just saw Spirit. Now, granted, Spirit had, piss poor management, but still, like, this could cripple airlines, which is pretty big. It's peak travel season.
Right. Well, the entire litigation could take years, but what's really the insignificant factor
for the TRO and the
is the validity or invalidity of an anticipated TRO. And I am anticipating at least one court somewhere, whether it's in New York, California, or Massachusetts, if not multiple courts, will come out and basically say this is some judge will come out and say I'm putting a ban on this policy going into effect. So I'm anticipating that that's almost certainly going to happen, and that the Trump, given his history, will respect that ban and allow international flights to continue while it's going through the appeals process. But the appeals process tends to work relatively quickly. So, and if it gets denied at the appellate level, so in that case, international flights would continue. Theoretically, on and on. Here's the other thing, which I only thought of just now, which is a very important factor, and that is World Cup is the United States. You're having the entire planet flying in to these cities now. This is coming up in June. It's coming up in a couple of weeks, and I don't know that Trump wants to disturb that. That's another reason.
It's a lot of money coming into the country. So
it's a lot of money coming into the country. It's a lot of potential bad PR on a global face. If in fact he does this and it impedes travel during the World Cup. So that could be another reason that Mark Wayne Mullen is holding back, is he sort of wants to let this battle ensue when we don't have the entire world descending on our country for the World Cup. So, which is, I think the World Cup is supposed to be starting. When is that starting? Do you know?
I have no clue. I have no idea.
I'm going to ask Rock.
So flights from Australia wouldn't be able to come into the United States probably in like October.
Grok, when does the World Cup start?
The 2026 World Cup kicks off on June 11th, with Mexico playing South Africa in Mexico City. The whole tournament runs through July 19th.
And what are the primary cities that are going to be hosting?
The main host cities are spread across 3 countries: Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Monterrey in Mexico. Atlanta, Boston, Dallas, Houston, Kansas City, Los Angeles, Miami, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, San Francisco Bay Area, and Seattle in the U.S., and Toronto and Vancouver in Canada. The tournament kicks off in Mexico City.
Right. So that's basically a who's who of sanctuary cities in this country, right?
Yeah, I was about to say all of those are sanctuary
I'm not
cities.
sure about Atlanta, but I know Boston is. I doubt Dallas and Houston, but or Kansas City, but LA, not Miami, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Seattle. These are all sanctuary cities. So, and it's going on from June 11th to July 19th. This is a really critical time. I don't know if you're Trump, what you do with that. Like you're like, I don't know if I want to mess with this. I like the policy idea. I just don't know that I want to do this during this critical time. We're going to be celebrating our 250th anniversary during that period. We've got the World Cup. This next 6 weeks, 6 to 7 weeks, is a really critical time for this country's tourism. It's international, taking the international stage. And if there's ever a time that this is potentially damaging, you're going to say no one can fly in or out of New York or New Jersey?
Yep, that's exactly what they're going to say.
So I think you can get a lot of flack from a lot of countries around the world if you start saying we're closing down those airports.
Yeah, you're going to have a big problem. Somebody said you have a Rumble rant, by the way. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
welcome.
welcome.
Yeah, I don't know if this is in fact the right time, but I am curious. What are your thoughts? Do you think that, you know what? That's the time to make the point. This is it. Boom. Right here, right now. People are going to have to fly into Pittsburgh. Figure out.
Yeah, that's exactly what people are gonna do, Joe. They're gonna fly into Pittsburgh.
I don't know.
And
Pittsburgh
then-
has an international airport.
Yeah, there's only so many international airports in our country that it pretty much, and almost all of them are sanctuary cities, except for Atlanta, like you said, is a little.
Atlanta's very far from New York, New Jersey.
That's
very far.
That's almost a day away. It's a long drive.
Yeah, there are closer international airports. I am curious though with respect to international airports. So this is
None of them are close though, because all those cities up there are sanctuary cities. All those like New England, East Coast airports are mostly those are all sanctuary cities. You're done. You're done, Zoe. It's going to cripple things.
Yeah. So if they end up closing up, so it could be that this is a way that you might think to yourself, this is a way to really force their hand.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it's smart to do it now, in the sense that it's not something changing from being a sanctuary city to being a non-sanctuary city.
Yeah, but didn't all this stem from the federal shutdown, the hiring freeze there for any new employees, DHS having to step in and do those sort of things, and
but that was when the government was shut down.
That's what I'm saying. But we're still using DHS and everybody in a lot of these airports. We're not allowing them to do their work.
Are we?
As far as I know, yeah.
Not sure about that.
As far as I know, we still are. At least we were like a month ago.
You think ICE is still working in airports?
They were like a month ago. I don't see why they're not. I haven't heard anything about them like being removed.
All right, let's ask. I got more questions for Grok now. You have me all confused here. I got all these questions for you, Grok. So here are some of my questions, because right now Mark Wayne Mullen, Secretary of DHS, is talking about the idea of potentially shutting down international airports with respect to sanctuary cities. And I'm trying to figure out the impact that this could have with respect to the World Cup, and which cities are international cities, what international cities might be replacements that are not sanctuary cities. It certainly seems as if he would be targeting Newark International Airport, JFK, and Boston, and various Californian cities. So my question for you is, how would this all play out with respect to the World Cup? First and foremost, the cities you list there, which of them qualify as sanctuary cities?
Among the U.S. host cities, the sanctuary ones are basically Boston, Los Angeles, New York, New Jersey area. Philadelphia, San Francisco Bay Area, and Seattle. Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, Miami, and Kansas City generally aren't. They're in states or have policies that cooperate more with federal immigration enforcement. You're right that Newark, JFK, and Boston would be prime targets for any shutdown of international processing. That would hit New York, New Jersey, and Boston matches hard. Fans flying in from abroad might have to land elsewhere, clear customs at a cooperating airport, then take a domestic flight in, which adds hassle, time, and cost during peak tournament travel. Mexico and Canada hosts wouldn't be affected. The bigger picture, reports suggest any real changes probably wouldn't kick in until after the World Cup ends in July, so the tournament itself might dodge the worst of it. But it's still creating uncertainty for logistics and airlines right now.
Yeah, I think that even if they implement the policy would kick in. I think that's the smartest way to do it. You implement the policy now, and then you say that it's going to be effective as of July 20th. And that way you don't have to worry about the World Cup. Because I think Trump looks at the World Cup as an opportunity for this country to shine. It's only going to help his image to have the World Cup be deemed a rating success. Yeah. I don't think that he's going to do anything that might potentially jeopardize that, like implementing dramatic changes to international travel.
Yeah, but ICE is still in our airports, so that's why they're doing this.
I forgot to ask him that.
They're still in the airports.
Is ICE still in our airports?
Yeah, ICE is still operating at major U.S. airports. The big surge back in March was mostly them helping with TSA lines during the shutdown, and most of that wrapped up by early April once things stabilized. But they never fully left. They still do enforcement, document checks, and have a presence, especially at international terminals. CBP handles primary customs and immigration for people arriving from abroad, while ICE focuses more on interior enforcement and can step in if needed. So you'll likely see federal agents around, just not in the same heavy TSA support role as before.
All right, good on you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I do bring stuff, okay?
I guess Google was your friend.
Google was. I said it before I.
Yeah, so I think
also, hold on, before we move on, don't judge me for Google when you go to Grok for everything. Don't act superior to me.
I can admit that I didn't know. I was like, I don't know. I mean, why would they still be there?
Thank you, Nacho Kitty, for the thumbs up. I appreciet that.
No,
is Grok sounding more and more like Sin? If that's what I sound like, that is bad.
Let me catch up on some of the rants. So you said that there was more?
So somebody said in the chat earlier. Yeah, you tell that banker Sin. Somebody said, "What? Why don't say that in the chat? You're gonna get me in trouble." Sin is Grok. I'm not Grok. Okay. You pull the rant up. Can you read it or you need me to read it?
Well, Craig Allen, OG, rated the stream, so I wanted to say thank you.
Okay.
I want to say thank you, acknowledge that and say thank you. Rizalian says something else to remember is 2028, the Olympic star in LA. Wow.
Yeah, that's going to be a mess, isn't it? It's going to be a bit of a mess. They got a lot to clean up in a couple years.
That's going to be election time also.
Election time. They've got a lot to clean. Remember when they cleaned everything up for the Chinese reps to go over there? Like whatever that dude's name is, Xi Jinping or whatever. The Winnie the Pooh looking guy. Yeah, they got a lot. That's a mess.
Hands one says that the plan to stop customs at sanctuary airports is a bad idea. Better off removing grant funding and putting restrictions on all new grants. Yeah, I'm sort of torn about it because this is it's a very drastic thing. And the problem is it really is off-putting to a lot of Americans. It's very, very off-putting to a lot of Americans. So it's a risky move. And I don't like him doing that. I think that this is a terrible time to do it. Just because this is the last time that this is the last period that you would ever want Trump to be alienating Americans. Like, you just don't want to have the Republicans being blamed for shutdowns in various airports, overflows that are going to come into alternative airports. It's you don't want to have that in the summer of an election year. It's just not a good thing. So I think I'm leaning towards agreeing with that. I think it's an interesting policy, but I'm leaning towards agreeing that this is not really a potentially great idea for right now.
No, it's a terrible idea. What do you mean? It's a terrible idea. I think it's good. Okay. How do I explain this? I think the idea of it is good. I think the timing is bad. And I think however long it goes is where it's going to really determine how bad it is for the country and for everyone. Because if you did this not during peak travel season, maybe if you didn't do it during a midterm, maybe if you didn't do it during the World Cup, you could have some, the whole plan is great. I see the whole point, but like, man, you're going to be screwing a lot of people over, a whole bunch of people.
See, here's the thing. When you're going to create a showdown,
there's no good time. You're right, peas and butter.
Well, what I'm saying is this: when you're going to create a showdown, and this is something we're seeing in Iran, when you're going to create a showdown, you sort of need to be willing to take it on the chin. You need to be in a position that you can take it on the chin. Yeah. And basically say, give me your best shot. I'm not blinking. I'm going to make you blink first. You're playing a game of chicken. And you have to know that you're going to be willing to take whatever lumps come with it. So before you walk into the arena, you have to sort of estimate what type of lumps are you really potentially going to be taking if you're strategizing it properly. So you have to say, like, how far am I willing to go with this if they don't want to budge? So, and the problem you have is when you're sitting there as part of the government, they understand, your opponent in this arena understands the political ramifications that and all the abuse and damage you're doing to yourself and your party by walking into this arena and saying we're shutting down the airports. So and they basically are like, no, I understand it's painful for us, but this is devastating for the government. It's devastating for the Republicans. Yeah. So we're willing to take it on the chin, and we'll take it on the chin all the way through the first week in November. And we'll deal with that because we understand just how utterly disastrous this is for Republicans. So in that sense, you have to recognize that your opponent knows. It's not like you can hold your cards to the vest as to like what you're able to handle. They see the public's reaction. They see the damage that you're getting, and they're able to assess just how many hits you're getting. Normally, when you're competing with an enemy, they don't get to see your cards. Here, they're seeing your hand because they're seeing it unfold on the national stage. So they actually are knowing just how much they're hurting you by holding out and suffering on their own. So in that sense, it's a very, very dangerous arena for him to start playing chicken in, particularly in, summer of an election. But yeah, it's, maybe you want to tell me you want to start doing this in November and start dancing in mid-November on this issue. Okay, but you can't be playing this game now. We need to recognize the value of maintaining good public perception into this election. And as
we have no option. Look at the Iran issue. Now this, I'm sorry, we're not.
Yeah, you can't take these hits. You can't.
That's the thing that we're giving the conservatives and the people on the right the red meat that they want, right? We're going, lock down the country, forget Iran, let's just bomb the place, let's glass it, let's do all these things. And then, but we've got those votes. And I hate to say it, like, there's not very many conservatives or MAGA people that are gonna sway from the party at this point in time. You're trying to get those people in the middle, and you've got to figure out what they want and give it to them in some shape, form, or fashion. And I don't think these policies are going to do it. I hate it because, if we became isolationists in every way possible, I would love it. Let's shut the country down. Let's focus on us. Let's take care of us. Let's get all the homeless squared away. Let's get everybody good jobs, good housing, everything inexpensive as best we can, and then start going back to being the world's, police or whatever the heck we want to do after that once we're straight. But this is, you got a lot of people in the middle that are going to look at this and go, well, I really wanted to, go to Dubai or wherever they want to go, and then they're like, well, now I can't get back home.
They get pissed off. Yeah, they get really pissed off.
I've got to fly into Dallas and then drive all the way back to New York.
Just because someone like me might be willing to say, I'm willing to take it.
Yeah, I'm willing to take it.
But I'm not in the majority of Americans on that score. So most people are like, how is this affecting me? If it's affecting me, that makes me angry. So this is a point where I should remind you all to please make sure you hit the like and subscribe and check out tonight's goal, where I actually said that if we hit 15 super chats tonight, we'll be doing hour 3 plus a local show afterwards. Yeah, I did. I know, it's crazy. And we're actually a lot closer than you probably think. We don't have a counter up there, which is very, very annoying because YouTube is asshole. But
YouTube is asshole.
Yeah, I have us at 13 right now.
Yeah,
so
I have us at 13 on the YouTube side. I don't know about the Rumble rents. So
really? Wait, you count 13 on the YouTube side? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, we have 12 over there.
12.
We have 12 over there on the YouTube side, and we had 2 in Rumble. So
I try to sneak one in. Chad. Don't try to give you one. Okay, this guy. I told you to watch out for these guys. Okay, watch out for them. Even when they're blind, you can't get one over on them when it comes to money.
I got a sixth sense about that.
He can feel it. He can feel it in the air.
I also said that if we hit 20 super chats, I will let you all see just how disgustingly hideous my eye is tonight.
Things look normal. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's just as disgusting as they normally are, Joe.
What do we got here?
Wellesley72 says Al Green has some of the best house music. Good job. Way to go. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I think I missed a bunch before that.
Probably.
Did we get this one?
Joe, yeah, we read that one.
We got this one?
No. Kelly 51 for $5 says my daughter is having eye surgery for the same thing in 2 weeks. Well, I hope everything goes great.
Yeah, seriously. And my pity on her. I hope that she has a rapid recovery. All right, then we got this one.
Carolyn 2153 says I live in Maryland. 7 Dems, 1 rep in the House government. Our House governor wants to eliminate the rep seat, effectively disenfranchising me. I'm okay with my home state of South Carolina keeping 1 Dem seat. People need representation. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. Thank you so much for the $10, by the way, Carolyn 2153. Joe's not going to say it because I don't know what he's doing. He's doing this weird Ray Charles thing where he sways back and forth in front of the camera now.
I got this pop-up, and you know how pop-ups always have an X, but I can't find the X.
I don't have pop-ups. I have an ad blocker like a normal human being.
No, this is from my Norton's. I got a Norton's.
So wait, you've got a Norton's antivirus thing popped up. They'll warn you or explain something to you, and you're blind, and you can't figure it out.
I can't figure out how to make this stupid thing go away.
Your screen is so dark too. I can't see anything now through your glasses. This is great.
Having fun? Are you having fun?
I'm having a good time, Joe.
We got this one.
Tammy Fayette for $2 says seeing I host LMAO. Thank you.
Nice.
Annabelle Feinstein. With the World Cup starts the member for 8 months. Thank you so much. With the World Cup starting next month, this would be a major power play and snarl lots of travel. I'd love to see the full list of cities.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's probably going to have worse blowback than positive ramifications.
Yeah, especially being so close to midterms.
Yeah. Now, speaking of crazy Democrats and their love for the illegals, California has a new bill proposal, which is astonishing. As crazy as California is notorious for being with respect to illegals, this is just mind-blowing. Check this out.
Okay. Show it to me. Yeah, I went and found my Zippo. Don't you worry, chat. I couldn't do it anymore. I was itching. It was weird.
California State Assembly member Carl DeMaio here with yet another bad bill alert from Sacramento. This one would give preferential sentencing treatment to illegal immigrants. In other words, citizens would be judged harsher than people here illegally. It's Assembly Bill 2669, and you should take a look at it because it says when a prosecutor is deciding whether or how much to charge an illegal immigrant, that they are now going to be required to take into account the possible impacts it might have on the illegal immigrant if they're charged with the crime as it relates to their ability to stay in this country. Insane. It's a double standard on justice. You do the crime, you do the time. People should be judged equally. And this is so offensive because it literally punishes citizens in a harsher way than people here illegally. Contact your legislator and say justice should be blind, equal protection and punishment under the law. Say no to Assembly Bill 2669.
Justice should be blind. Amen. What, no?
No, I agree. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, I did put one of my profile pictures up that doesn't have the blindfold just because you were blind tonight. So the chat knew somebody was able to see that. Justice should be blind. California is so wild. I don't understand what they do. It's like they have a dart of bad ideas. They have a dartboard filled with bad ideas. And they go, all right, everybody. And they just go in there and throw one. They go, that's it. That's what we're going with.
Justice should be blind.
It's everything to keep the Democratic vote going because they know that there's so many like secret conservatives.
Can you believe that they're treating citizens worse than illegals?
Yes. Yes, I know a lot of people. I know I would say a lot of people. I know several people that they grew up, they were born and raised in California, and they said nothing that we want is ever happening there whatsoever. It's all based around illegals and immigration and crackheads and all these other people.
This
and
is
we're leaving.
Frigging outrageous.
Yeah.
It is so outrageous. The idea that we're going to reward you, Mr. Criminal, criminal legal, we're going to reward you because you're not a citizen. It's astonishing. We're going to reward you in how's a reward? It's in that we're going to find an extra reason to mitigate in your favor because you're not here legally.
Yeah.
Wow. It is it's crazy. It is so unbelievably perverse. It's perverse. It's sickening. It is so twisted. Just how they could tie themselves into knots that they're going to actually treat people better if you're illegal than if you're a citizen.
Yeah, but they know American citizens are fickle. They know that American citizens are fickle, that if you're allowed to vote the way you want, that you will be voted out. You will be removed from power. But people who come in here illegally, you pay them off the right way. They're going to do what you want. You got to remember, these are the same illegals that are like picking fruit for pennies on the dollar. You know what I mean? And sending it back home.
I'm not sure I understand the point you're getting at. How is this benefiting them?
They get to stay in power. What do you mean?
In what way are you saying because they're basically giving them votes?
Exactly. That's what it all boils down to, Joe. Almost every single time.
I understand that that's the actual basis. I don't know how you like the way that they try to package this as if this is something that is not disturbingly unfair is just astonishing.
They don't care. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They don't care. They see which side their bread is buttered on. They go, all right, well, forget you guys. What are you going to do? Vote me out of power?
Well, D'Amico suggested that we look at the bill, and I do want to look at it together with you. So here is the bill. I'll try and make sure I can read this. That's not going to. All right.
This is a lot.
It's really just this. It's really not that. As bills go, it's really not that long.
Mm-hmm.
it's important to understand the ramifications of this so we can appreciate exactly what it is that they're mandating in this bill proposal.
Gotcha.
Existing law provides the pleas a defendant may make to an indictment, information, or complaint charging a misdemeanor or infraction. So we already have all that. And we also have existing law that requires defense counsel to advise the defendant about the immigration consequences of a proposed disposition as specified. So by law, if you're a defense counsel, you have to tell your clients, hey, because you're an illegal alien, these are the things that can happen as a result of you being charged with this crime if you're convicted and stuff of that nature. So that's already on the books. Now they want to add in here, existing law requires the prosecution, so this is prosecutors, have to consider the avoidance of adverse immigration consequences in the plea negotiation process as specified. So now, Mr. Prosecutor, if you're dealing with an illegal alien, you can't just be dealing with what's fair, their priors, the victims, how heinous the crime, how many other crimes are we dealing with? No. You also you are obligated by law to consider in the plea negotiation process how this is likely to affect their right to stay in the country. This bill would instead require the prosecution to meet and confer during the negotiation process with the defense in an effort to avoid the adverse immigration consequences of a plea conviction or a sentence. So now prosecutors are obligated to waste some of their time talking to defense counsel about, hey, just so you know, if they plead to this, that could result in ICE coming or, notifications here or a change in their TPS status or whatever it is, whatever status is. Now it's on the state. We're taking upon ourselves, it's our duty, it's our employees' duties now to inform defense counsel as to potential ramifications that can come as a result of them pleading to this crime that they just committed. The bill would establish a rebuttable presumption of a violation of the above described requirement. So we're going to assume you failed, Mr. Prosecutor. You didn't do this properly. If the defendant asserts facts that provide a prima facie showing that during negotiations the defendant proposed an alternative plea or sentence that would avoid adverse immigration consequences, including, among other things, an offense of greater seriousness, and the prosecution declined the offer.
Calm down. Take a second.
A serial rapist who they finally managed to capture and is a legal alien versus, let's say, two serial rapists. One is American, one is an illegal American citizen, one is an illegal alien. So let's assume they have the same track record, similar type of crime history, and similar charges here. At some point, the prosecutor comes in with plea negotiations. He makes an offer. Defense counsel makes an offer. If it's an illegal alien, we're going to assume that the prosecutor failed in their duties if they did not accept a proposal that would help protect them from having problems with their immigration status. So if you're an illegal alien, you're counsel for an illegal alien, your duty as a zealous advocate for your client is to say, oh yeah, I understand that he just, raped 50 women and children. We should give him a battery and let it go with that. A single battery. And make it a misdemeanor, because otherwise, if it goes on his felonious record, now that could change his status where he's no longer authorized to have TPS, and that could hurt him. The other guy who's an American citizen, he doesn't get any of that. If now that this proposal comes from the attorney, if that proposal is not accepted, we're going to assume that there was a failure from the prosecutor. So it's not just that we're bringing illegal aliens in here. But California wants to say that if they create whatever type of mayhem, chaos, violence, killing Americans, raping Americans, kidnapping Americans, beheading people, or whatever lunacy they do in their third world countries that they want to bring over here, then when it comes time to plead, the California prosecution has to basically accept their deal, or we're assuming you weren't sufficiently considerate to their immigration status. Unbelievable. You're basically giving illegal aliens a license to commit crimes. This is just astonishing. It's outrageous. We're gonna have a rebuttable presumption that you violated. Now maybe you can rebut it, but that you violated your duty. If they just say, hey, and I say, hey, here's our written offer, that during negotiations, the defendant proposed an alternative plea. You came to us and said, hey, I'm going to give you a knockout. Instead of you having 30 rapes, I'm going to give you just like 2 rapes. And we're going to basically say that we're going to give you 25 years to life. You came back to me saying that you want to get 14 months because you're afraid that this might affect your status as an illegal alien. And they didn't accept the defendant's offer. Why didn't you accept the defendant's offer? So we're going to assume that you failed, prosecutor, if you don't accept their offer. What the hell's happening? What is happening here? Like, how is this even something that any serious person would just be like, oh yeah, this is totally a normal thing to do? This is how invested they are in making sure that you cannot hurt illegal aliens. It's like, oh my God, well, they made an offer. Why didn't you take their offer? Their offer was something that would have protected their immigration status. This is not simply putting, like, this is not a small type of, this is a massive hike as far as benefiting someone who's a criminal because they're a legal alien over American citizens, basically saying F you to American citizens. Hey, illegal aliens, 8 billion people across the world, just skip on over the border, especially if you're a lunatic, commit your crimes here. Don't worry, do them in the state of California. And if you have a shrewd attorney, or an attorney who's, basically has 6 brain cells, you don't have to be that shrewd, it basically can ensure that things are not going to go so bad for you, even if you get caught. It's like just complete. Why not? This is abolish the police. Abolish them. Why not? Why do you need police? This is just it's outrageous. Everything about this is disgusting. It is perversion. It is evil. This is so utterly sickening. Everything about this.
I don't know how you even handle this as an actual citizen of California. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, what do you do? What do you do about this?
Upon a prima facie showing of the above described circumstances, the bill requires the court to order a hearing. So if we prove that there was this offer that came from it, and the prosecution rejected their lame, hey, give us a slap on the wrist, give me 3 months probation for all the murdering and raping I did. So if we get this showing that the offer came from the defense counsel and it was rejected the prosecution, now you need to requires the prosecution to demonstrate good cause. You're gonna have to have a court hearing, and you have to the prosecution will be obligated to demonstrate to the court good cause for their failure to offer a plea that would avoid adverse immigration consequences. Hey, so they have to now justify why it is that they didn't give you something that would help protect your stupid immigration status. If the court finds the prosecuting attorney failed to establish good cause at the above described hearing, the bill would require the court to impose an appropriate remedy as specified. By imposing additional duties on local prosecutors, the bill would impose a state-mandated local program. California Constitution requires the state to reimburse local agencies and school districts for certain costs mandated by the state. Statutory provisions establish procedures for making the reimbursement. This bill will provide that the commission of the state mandates determine the bill contains costs. So this part is not the part I really care about in being relevant. But and here it is. So that's basically a description of what this is supposed to do. And here it is in plain text. Prosecution in the interest of justice and furtherance of the findings and declarations of section 1016.2 shall meet and confer during the negotiation process with defense in an effort to avoid the adverse immigration consequences of the plea, conviction, and sentence. So first, you got to have your little joint meeting there with counsel and say, hey, let's make sure that nothing bad happens to your murderous, lecherous, insane, psychopathic client over here, who, so that they don't lose, so we don't have to worry that they might be deported. A rebuttable presumption of a violation of this section exists where the defendant asserts facts that provide a prima facie showing that during negotiations, the defendant proposed an alternative plea or sentence that would avoid adverse immigration consequences. And this, what I was just describing to you, that if they, once the defense counsel makes this offer, including but not limited to an offense of comparable or greater seriousness under California law, the prosecution declined the offer. So if they decline the offer, that's now that it's going to be on the state to prove why you rejected it. And upon a prima facie showing of the circumstances described, the court shall order a hearing, which prosecution bears the burden. The burden's all on state to demonstrate by clear and convincing evidence. That's a high standard. It's not by by reasonable proof, by clear and convincing evidence, good cause for the failure to offer a plea that would avoid the adverse immigration consequences as described. A hearing held pursuant to this subdivision. So what happens in this hearing? If the court, and it's going according to the evidence, and if the court finds that the prosecuting attorney failed to establish good cause, and they say, I don't think you had good cause here for not accepting it, in that case, the court will impose an appropriate remedy to effectuate the purposes of this section. And including but not limited to, what are they able to do, the court? What kind of remedies are we talking about? Well, they can order the parties to meet and confer good faith in 10 calendar days, continue the matter to permit compliance with this section, making express, so we're going to make sure that prosecutors are going to go along with it, making express findings on the record regarding the violation and any relief necessary in the furtherance of justice. So that basically courts can do whatever the hell they want. They can say, I don't care what it is that you came in here, I'm telling you that the state is accepting the offer, in theory. The stupid offer came from defense counsel. The purpose of this section, offense or comparable or greater seriousness means an offense within the same sentencing trial, plead to multiple offenses in lieu of a single offense, or plead to a more serious offense with a greater sentencing exposure. Now, when they're talking about over here, I'm wondering if they're trying to make it not as terrible by saying you're going to flip it around into something that's going to be of similar level. Could be that's what they're trying to say here. I don't want to be Chicken Little screaming about the sky falling when it's not. But this is how twisted they are, as far as desperate to try and find any way possible to protect these lunatics. It's really, there's just, they're shameless. They're utterly shameless. It's horrifying. Absolutely. I got a bunch of chats. Can you have thoughts on this? You want to weigh in?
No, it's just disgusting. My whole concept in my mind of listening to it was going, this is gross. Like, how can you rationalize any of this? And how can you be a California citizen and go, oh, this is fine. This is great.
I don't know how these people live with themselves.
I don't either.
It's like, it's so evil. Hands one back says, bill number 69 for year 26 is a reversal screw. Let out illegal screw the citizens. Fitting bill number. Nice. Nicely done. I got a bunch of chats.
All right. I'm ready to take care of it.
Let's get on it. Did I do this one? Yeah, we did this one.
Yeah, we did that one.
We did find something else. Oh, we're up to this one. Thank you, Brian.
Brian Oldenkamp. Get the 20 Good Lawgic memberships.
Coming on in here. Yeah. So I can't read those names.
Well, I mean, I don't have access.
Welcome to the following 20 new people. 20 new followers, 20 new great, awesome people, 20 people who basically understand the state of California is screwed. And yeah, God bless you. Please be aware the following is not all a cult type of cult, and I am not at all the leader of the following. I'm just a host. Thank you so much, Brian Oldenkamp. I'm going to call it now. I'm going to just say, go! Well done, brother. Thank you so much. I'm going to give you the horn a second time because feel guilty that I wasn't able to read it. Also, Mita with an E. I was wondering where she was. I'm like, I know she's here Wednesdays. I know she's here Wednesdays. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. But yeah. So there she is. She pops on in here. Like clockwork. What do we got?
Brian or Richard Parker 010. What's up, buddy? He says Brian for the goal.
Indeed, Brian for the goal.
Jay Schwalbach for $2 says there'd be more if you check locals.
I am checking locals. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you in like the wrong locals chat? Are you in today's locals chat? I don't even see you in there. What's going on? I don't know what you. Is it like a different chat? I'm in today's locals. I don't know what locals you're in. I'm literally pull it up multiple times here. I don't know what he's saying. What is he saying? There it is. It's just popped up late on me. I don't know what's happening. It was there. What the heck happened? I don't know. Maybe it's my eyes. It's very possible. Good luck to me trying to read this. Yeah, I'll let you try to figure this out.
All right, pull it up. Jesus. Okay.
Can you read?
Yeah, I can read it. I just need to says I saw Sin's avatar and had to Google this. This is what came back in Google AI overview. The phrase "the blind Jew." Come on. Okay, Joe.
What does it say?
It says the phrase "the blind Jew and the Negro" most likely points to the historical, often polemical contrasts drawn between marginalized groups in literature, religion, or historical political discourse. Sin, do you qualify as an emotional support animal, Negro?
I think that's. Given the circumstances, I think that's a fair question. So.
Oh gosh.
Oh, no answer, huh? All right.
Yeah. I'm not going to give an answer. Yes, the answer is yes. He beats me, everybody. He keeps me in chains and beats me. All right. Mita with a long E says Blind Joe and maniacally laughing Sin. Wednesdays are the best. Thank you so much, Mita. It's good to see you.
There you go.
And then Piano
that's why they call it Hump Day.
Yeah. Piano Dean for 5 says James Carville looks like Dr. Bunsen Honeydew Muppet got washed on hot. For $5. Thank you.
I feel like I look like Dr. Johnny Fever. So. So yeah. All right. Well, that's what I had for you all tonight. See how that timed out at 2 hours like perfectly? Like, that was pretty impressive. I dare any of you to just figure out your timing the way I managed to just sort of estimate the timing. I was like, these are the stories that covered 2 hours.
Somebody says in Sin is Herb Tarlick. Who the heck is Herb Tarlick? What am I missing?
No, I think it's a fair way. I think that's appropriate. I think you'd be flattered. I think you'd be very flattered. If you want, if I can pull up an image for you.
Pull it up. I would like to see. Let's see here.
That's Herb Tarlick right there.
Oh, okay, I'm not mad about that. I you know what? My dad used to wear that same.
This is also Herb Tarlick. This is Herb Tarlick. It's not Herb, but that's Herb Tarlick. Every suit of his was just. But he was also like the slimy guy who was like continually like lecturing over Lonnie Anderson. So that's Herb.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not mad about that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm just calling. I'm just telling you so you understand what was being said there. You know, so we're all on the same page. Should we talk a little bit about Iran?
Sure. I've been hearing a lot of it. So Jim comes on my show on a regular basis and derails. And a lot of times he'll just send me stuff in the chat. So I'll be talking about a locale or Chrissy Mayer or something along those lines, and he'll be like, "We're at war with Iran," and just
Why
say
do you
something.
keep bringing up Chrissy Mayer every time you come on the show?
That's a big thing. Yeah, with the strike.
Are you in a
and all
fight
that
with
stuff.
her?
No, not exactly. It's been big news in my little circle of people with the channel strikes. and
What's the
stuff like
big
that.
news?
You know who Jeremy Hambley is from the Quartering.
Yes.
He was having channels struck and removed off YouTube.
Yes.
We're talking about him.
Yes.
Chrissy Mayer was then sweeping for that and agreeing with that situation, saying that, well, yeah, that's fine. You should do that. So
Okay.
yeah. And so we were covering her because that's bad for our community.
All right. All right. So that's basically what you're trying to explain as far as what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
No, because I was only asking because she's asked me to. She wanted to interview me. Like she's asked me to come to her studio and like interview. And like I haven't replied because I don't have any personal issue with her at all.
Yeah.
I just have no idea what the heck I would talk about with her. The last time I went on her show was during the heat of the Ricetta thing. And her audience, and I was basically saying, and her audience was just very strongly anti-Nick, and they were pretty outraged by me. So I was just like, I don't really know what I'm walking into here, and I don't know what we would talk about.
Somebody said I'm friends with Legal Mindset. No, I'm not friends with Legal Mindset. I don't think Legal Mindset likes me. I did a show about him, making fun of him. Chrissy Mayer's pretty good in the political circle.
I don't have a problem. I'm saying I like her. I don't have a problem.
That's what I'm saying.
With
So she's pretty up and up on politics. So
I have no problems with
Yeah.
Chrissy Mayer at all. I'm just like I don't know what I don't know what I would talk to her about.
Yeah. And somebody was saying she didn't say that. She said that on another show 2 weeks prior before she done the big interview that got her in this kerfuffle. So. And she was like, well, I didn't know anything about this situation when she had done like an hour-long segment with a group of other YouTubers like a week or two before that. And I was like, come on now. Just tell the truth. Just own up to it. You messed up, and that's it. Leave it be. It's done.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Let's get on into Iran. All right?
Yeah. Tell me all about it.
So there's all sorts of peace talks that are going on. And I found two different stories. This one from the Jerusalem Post. This one was given to me by Jim. That the U.S. denies Iranian MOU claim that deal would reopen the Hormuz and end the blockade. U.S. President Donald Trump added on Wednesday that Iran would not get sanctions relief in exchange for giving up highly enriched uranium. So that's part of our demands is we want your uranium, and we're not going to give you sanctions relief, according to an interview with PBS News. Iranian state broadcaster IRIB said on Wednesday that Tehran had obtained a draft of an initial unofficial framework from a memorandum of understanding with the United States on ending the conflict. The White House responded to the Iranian report in an ex-Twitter post later on Wednesday, calling it a complete fabrication. Nobody should believe what Iranian state media are putting out, the White House wrote. This is not a good sign, by the way, that the negotiations are going well. If they're saying stuff and we're like, no, they're full of lies, this is not a good sign that we're close to wrapping this thing up.
No, not at all.
The report from this is very frustrating. The report from Iranian-controlled media is not true, and the MOU they released which is the memorandum of understanding, is a complete fabrication. Nobody should believe what Iranian state media is putting out. Facts matter. Let's see if we get this.
Iran's state TV is putting out what it claims is a draft of the initial framework with the U.S. Now, there are a number of points in here that appear to be very out of step with a lot of the U.S. red lines. So take this information with a very large grain of salt. But Iran is claiming that the memorandum of understanding would have the U.S. withdraw forces and lift the naval blockade in exchange for Iran restoring commercial traffic through the Strait of Hormuz within a month, with all ship traffic managed by Iran. They further claim if a deal is reached, it would become binding with a UN Security Council resolution. We have heard no updates from the U.S. side, but the White House has repeatedly pushed back on premature reports and inaccurate reports about what these discussions entail. This is new from Iran today, so likely we'll hear some response from the White House. But today the president is set to meet with his cabinet to discuss all of this after scrapping plans to convene at Camp David due to bad weather, the same place where he convened his cabinet last year just before bombing Iran's nuclear sites. The stakes are very high. Iran accused the U.S. of a grave violation of the ceasefire after CENTCOM carried out what it described as defensive strikes on missile launch sites and Iranian boats trying to lay mines. Iran vowed to respond, and all of this was just days after the president announced a deal to end the war was largely negotiated. Iran is demanding, apparently, $24 billion in frozen funds to agree to all of this, prompting concern from lawmakers about emboldening Iran and also prompting a response from President Trump, who's pushing back against anyone who doubts his ability to make a good deal. Last night, Vice President Vance spoke to NBC about these negotiations in a call. He described himself as extremely hopeful, but said, quote, I think the more difficult question is whether they agree to the kind of enforcement mechanism, the kind of monitoring mechanism that gives us confidence they won't violate the deal in the future. So the president's cabinet meeting is set for 11 a.m., and we do expect to see the president on camera.
So that was the dispute they had as to what the terms are of this deal. Under the program framework, Iran will restore commercial shipping to the Strait of Hormuz to pre-war levels within a month. Well, why a month? What the hell is that? I guess maybe they have to remove mines. While the United States would withdraw its military forces from the vicinity of Iran and lift a naval blockade. This does sound the way the Iran is framing this whole situation. It is portraying it as if like we lost. State TV said the framework which I mean we're certainly not dictating terms, right? State TV said the framework which excludes military vessels and envisages Iran managing ship traffic through the strait in cooperation with Oman was not yet finalized, and Tehran would take no steps without tangible verification. So they're definitely playing, they're putting public face as far as playing hardball. It added that if a final agreement was reached within 60 days, it could be approved. It could be approved as a binding UN Security Council resolution. No one cares about that. The emerging U.S.-Iran MOU stems from an indirect talks launched after the war that began in February. Trump said on Wednesday that Iran would not get sanctions relief, meaning they're not getting the $28 billion frozen dollars in exchange for giving up highly enriched uranium, according to an interview with PBS News. So in other words, we're not buying your uranium from you for $28 billion. Trump later told the cabinet meeting on Wednesday that Iran very much wanted to make a deal, but the U.S. was not yet satisfied with it. Iran is very much intent that they want very much make a deal, said Trump. So far, they haven't gotten there. We're not satisfied with it, but we will be. We will be either that or we'll have to just finish the job. See, we're getting to a point where it just sounds like talk. It does. Mm-hmm. And what I mentioned earlier about Democrats being aware of the, of being able to read your hands when I was talking about DHS shutting down and putting bans on international flights into sanctuary cities and them understand the lay of the land that you can't afford to do this. We should be mindful that Iran certainly is aware of the pressures that the Trump administration is having to get its tail out of Iran. They're not stupid. So they're definitely aware that Trump is working on a timetable, and that cannot help Trump with respect to his negotiations. It's a frustrating thing because the reality is he is on a timetable, and their awareness of his timetable makes it that much harder for him to actually successfully negotiate a better deal. If you have thoughts about it, feel free to just.
No, I agree with that. I mean,
so what do? It's like you can't. It's like there's no way they're not going to know of the pressures he's under to pull out.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're going to hold his feet to the fire because he didn't do what he said he was going to do to begin with. He fumbled this. So
what do you think he should have done differently?
Oof. Oh no, I really, really don't know. This whole thing was a tar baby to begin with. This whole situation
Isn't that a racist term?
Yes and no. Okay, why? Why are you? I'm trying to speak seriously about politics, and now you.
Well, I know you're going to come on my channel and start talking all racist.
Stop it, Joe. You don't have to do that. You don't have to. You don't have to do those things. The whole it was a sticky situation to begin with that had to be handled surgically, and he didn't do it. He went in there with bluster and loud cannons, and then just was like, "Oh crap." Like, what do you do? The ramifications of everything that they hold with, like, on the world stage really messed him up. And I think he should have probably handled it a little more politically before going in there. I would have waited till after the midterms.
Yeah, I think they felt like they weren't going to be able to kill. They wouldn't have that window to kill Khomeini. So I think that's probably what made them jump when they did. But also on Wednesday, Assistant White House Press Secretary Olivia Wales told Walla the negotiations with Iran are progressing well and that Trump has made his red lines very clear. Quote, President Trump will only make a good deal for the American people, said Wales, a deal that must ensure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon. The war erupted after a sharp escalation between Iran and Israel earlier this year, with both sides exchanging missile and drone attacks that disrupted shipping in the Gulf and drew in U.S. military involvement, raising fears of a wider regional conflict. So that's the talk about negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
However, we should be aware that now there was an urgent cabinet meeting which came about today. So Trump says he feels no pressure to make a deal with Iran, which he said is being clobbered by the effects of the war. U.S. President Donald Trump said Wednesday that the U.S. and Iran still have issues to resolve in peace talks after Washington dismissed an Iranian state television report of a framework of a deal to restore shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. And the shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, obviously, for those who are missing it, is critical because that is what's been being currently blamed for the stark increase in price of oil and our gas pump. Trump told the cabinet meeting that Iran remained keen to end the war. And we read this part, but Trump said that the Iranian economy has been clobbered by the effects of the war and that Tehran will not be able to outlast his administration in a waiting game. That's where people are like, really? Really? I don't know. President Say felt no pressure to strike a deal given the approaching U.S. midterm elections on November 3rd, even as polls suggest headwinds for Republicans and Americans have felt the pinch from the rising gas prices. So this is something he has to say, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that's a true statement when he says he doesn't feel pressure? You and I might feel the pressure, but he might say
he doesn't feel pressure. No, I don't think he does, because after he's got 2 more years in office, what does it matter to him? I'm sure he wants the Republican Party to win in perpetuity for the rest of his life, right? But on the grand scheme of things, at this point, he's running off a legacy, and if he can crush Iran, that's one thing that he can be like, well, I went in, I crushed Iran. I know we lost the midterms, everything was bad, but Iran's no longer a problem for America, and that's a legacy he can live off of.
And it's not just Iran. It's like peace in the Middle East is how he's looking.
True.
I
mean, he's been trying to do that with the Abraham Accords since 2016. Well, 2017, I would say.
Supposedly, the whole point to a deal ultimately would be to have all these different countries sign on the Abraham Accords.
Mm-hmm.
So he is looking at this as creating peace in the Middle East as being his legacy, which will far outnumber the number of his days, and make him, legendary for bringing peace in the Middle East. Like, basically a problem that has for generations now seemed utterly unsolvable. So I think he does look at that as his potential legacy. He also might look at the midterms and say, what the F has Congress done so far to help me? What have they done?
They've done nothing.
So he's like, so if we win or lose the midterms, from his perspective, he's like, who gives a damn?
Yeah, you've kneecapped me the entire time I've been in office. From 2016 to now, you've done nothing but kneecap me and hold me at gunpoint for everything that you wanted. So why do I care at this point about the midterms? He'll back who he wants to back, and he'll help whoever he wants to help, and then he'll do the deals that he wants to do. And look, I mean, I know the public is feeling the heat of all of this right now. I know we are. And a lot of people are going to go, you know what, man, I'm voting with my wallet. And that's just politics for you. But the legacy of peace in the Middle East is massive if he can get the Abraham Accords done. That is a part of the world stage that if you could just wipe that out, all the fighting, all the craziness, all the terrorism, that's a huge deal for helping the entire economy of the United States and the entire world economy, because it's just a mess. That's all. It's just, at the end of the day, it's a mess. And what else does he have to prove?
I'm going to start a poll because I'm very curious how my audience feels. Is it worth it to lose the House and Senate, which is a worst case scenario, if Trump brings peace to the Middle East? I'll say lasting peace. I think that's a really great question for my audience. My audience is very pro-Trump, by and large. They're very, very supportive of MAGA perspectives. Very not part of the whole, Israel derangement syndrome. So I'm wondering how they feel about this. Like, it's 2 years of not having the House and Senate, in theory. And in exchange that we got, in theory, lasting peace in the Middle East. Do you take that deal, yes or no? And I'm leaving it as a simple yes or no. And I'll ask you in the ghetto also. That's a great question. The ghetto being a reference to Rumble, obviously. I think it's a really, yeah. I mean, I have my own thoughts on this, which I'll share before we get out of here. But I don't want to sway the voting. So, but I've given you
my opinion to see if would that sway the voting, or do you want me to wait?
No one listens to you.
My opinion would be, yeah, it's worth it in the long run.
Your opinion is worth it.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a very bold statement.
Well, I mean, I stand on business. Yeah, I think so. I think it's worth it. I think we still have 2 years to recover. And if we play the cards right, then fine. Maybe Republicans can win in perpetuity if we do everything right after this. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult, but it's already hard. It's already difficult. You already have the Republicans against you. Why not do something good for the entire world and our country? The international flight thing that we've been talking about earlier today. That terrorism is one of the reasons why we do that. What if you didn't ever have to worry about that and it was just immigration stuff?
That we never need to worry about. You still
theoretically
would have some Muslim terrorism, but it wouldn't be state sponsored anymore. It would probably be far more sparse.
Bingo.
Far more sparse. That's probably true. I'll read the rest of this. We prefer the negotiated diplomatic route, and we're going to give it every chance to succeed you, as Secretary of State Marco Rubio said in the same media availability. Iranian state TV said the framework, which excludes military vessels and envisages Iran managing ship traffic through the strait in cooperation with Oman, was not yet finalized, and that Tehran would take no steps without tangible verification. It added that if a final agreement was reached within 60 days, 60 days is a long time from now. 60 days puts us at the end of July. It could be approved as binding UN Security Council resolution. I don't know why anyone makes such a big deal about that. Who the hell cares about UN? Traffic through the strait, which normally carries about 1/5 of global trade in oil and liquefied natural gas, has been a fraction of its usual level since the war began. Quote, the strait is international waters and Oman will have to behave just like everyone else or we'll blow them up, said Trump in response to a reporter question about Iran and Oman overseeing navigation through the Hormuz. Ephraim Azizi, head of the Iranian parliament's National Security Committee, said Trump's rhetoric would not force Iran to back away from its demands to enrich uranium, wield authority over the strait, and see sanctions against it lifted. It's obvious Trump seeking a way out of the strategic deadlock alternates between issuing threats and appealing for an agreement, Azizi said in a post on X. The dueling statements suggest two countries remain far apart. I agree with that assessment. Even after suggestions from the White House in recent days that an initial deal to end the war could be imminent. Trump has said that once a deal is struck, U.S. would monitor shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. The strait is covered by international law that guarantees foreign vessels the right to pass through. We'll watch over it, but nobody's going to control it. That's part of the negotiation that we have, he said. Oil prices fell more than 5% after the Iranian television report before retracing about a fifth of that fall. The war began on February 28th, and there you go. I'll tell you this much. If you are Trump, I definitely think that for purposes of enhancing your strength during the course of the negotiations, I do think that there's a benefit to basically saying to Iran, I really want the Republicans to win in November.
Of course.
But that's because the Republicans are better running things, a lot better running things than the Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, as far as for me personally, it has zero impact on me because they've been BFD useless.
Yeah.
For me throughout. So in that sense, if I have to blow up these midterms and we lose the House and Senate because I'm here, I don't personally care at all. I'd rather, but I don't care. And that way basically sap the strength of their resolve to try and punish Trump. Because he basically, there's no skin on my back. My administration is going to do the exact same thing, whether we hold the House and Senate or lose them. We're going to do the exact same thing. So you want to keep getting bludgeoned? That's fine. That's the only way he can possibly negotiate in a way that he can display that he really doesn't care. Because if they think he really cares about the midterms, then they feel like they have him over barrel, and that's going to make them stand strong. So you have to basically make him say, I can hang around here for another 2 years. I'll stick it out. You want to get punished for another 2 years? We'll do it. Let's do this. Let's do it. Let's do it.
As well. Yeah, I mean, you're already not doing what I want you to do, so why not just not? Hey, don't do anything.
Yeah.
Fight the Democrats every day for the next 2 years, and have to worry about whether what they put on the floor and what they get passed is going to keep your seat or not.
Yeah. So that's what I think Trump has to say. But as far as whether it actually is worth it, from my perspective, to lose the midterms, let me see. What were they? Have you checked with the? Have you checked the Ghetto and what they've been saying?
I haven't seen the Ghetto say anything recently. Been
What
trying
are
to
they
pay
saying?
attention.
Yes. You've been actually like concentrating.
I've been trying to.
Hands one says the strait is not covered by international treaties law. Iran is not a signature of that, just like America, so their territorial waters are restricted.
Wait, read that again?
Says the strait is not covered by international treaty law. Iran is not a signature of that, just like America, so their territorial waters are restricted. I'll tell you right now, I'll weigh in at this point. Let me see where our poll is at. I'm curious where that poll came in at. So we have here 60% saying no and 40% saying yes. I'll tell you right now, I don't see what the hell Congress has done for Trump. And yet, that being said, I still don't think peace in the Middle East is worth it, is worth losing the House and the Senate. And the reason I'm taking that position is because of the Save America Act. We need that freaking act to pass. If there's anything it's the one thing I need to get passed, and the best chance we have for getting it passed is that we scare the bejesus out of these rhinos. They see these primaries, they see a bloodbath coming their way if this thing doesn't get passed. And if we don't have the House and Senate, we have no chance of getting this thing passed in 2027. So, because specifically, while I agree that this House and Senate have been useless, the Save America Act is so significant that I think we need to have Trump in there with a House and a Senate that is able to potentially get this thing passed and have them be motivated toward being scared by the American voter that they better damn well get this passed. So because that hasn't been passed, it creates that much more urgency that we actually do hold a House and Senate. And love to see peace in the Middle East, but far, far more important to me than peace in the Middle East is that Save America Act getting passed. We need this thing passed, and hopefully with a new body coming in there in 2027, get rid of Cornyn, replace him with Paxton, hopefully get a couple of other base senators in there, maybe even get new leadership for the Senate majority. It can change everything in a way that dramatically could change things. Maybe if we hold the Senate, we abolish the filibuster. We get someone in there who's got actual cojones and is willing to fight through this thing. So in that sense, while the Senate has been an abysmal disappointment, and Congress has been an abysmal disappointment, that doesn't mean that can't change. And the possibility of it changing, to me, is more important than Trump's legacy or peace in the Middle East or all that other stuff. Even though I think those would be amazing things, they're not quite as amazing to me as actually getting real change in the Senate and getting that essential piece of legislation passed, because I think that changes the country. So that's why, because of that, I'm leaning towards saying we need the House and Senate. We can't play around here. So that's just my thought. But I understand the idea. I feel uncomfortable saying that only because you're right. It means American lives. I mean, that's the difference. It means American lives.
100%.
We don't know which American lives. It means some American lives. So it's a very challenging question.
Right now, because we're being pushed up against a timetable. We were talking about this months ago now, right? Like, you need to get in there and handle this and get out. Otherwise, people are going to be mad. You're going to lose the midterms. It's going to be one of the things that causes it. We need to find a way to get the Save America Act done, finished, so we can, move forward.
I don't see it happening this term.
Secured. I can't see a path forward. I've been looking at it here and there since I've been streaming with you and trying to think of a path forward. And I'm just seeing people stepping on rake after rake, and it just putting up roadblock after roadblock. And so what do you do?
No. It's a problem.
It's fine. Again, imagine the gif of the dog sitting in the house burning down around him going, "It's fine, Joe. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's fine."
Why are you complaining?
Don't complain. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's crazy. It is all insane. And that's been my biggest problem with politics, is that it feels like the right, these rhinos, have been fighting against us since as long as I can remember that I've been paying attention to politics.
But that's why we're draining the swamp. And we are seeing it getting drained. In other words, we're seeing Al Green gone. We're seeing John Cornyn gone. We're seeing Bill Cassidy gone. We're seeing all these swamp creatures one by one just falling. It's not something that happens overnight. Draining the swamp is a challenging thing, but we're seeing it happen. So yeah, it's, the influence that Trump is wielding is significant. I forgot to read this to you guys before. I forgot to read this when I was talking to you about Al Green losing his primary. The True Social post from Trump on that was pretty classic Trump. What he wrote was, "Congratulations to the Democrat Party. Al Green, one of the most mentally deficient congressmen in the history of our country, has lost in a landslide his seat in Congress. But I will miss that lunatic not screaming and violently waving his cane at me during my next State of the Union speech. Oh gosh.
It's entertainment. When you're looking out and you see somebody crashing out in the middle of everything, you go, that's beautiful. Look what I'm doing to these people.
I promised that I would share my eye if, in fact, we got
I'll be right
one.
back, Joe.
So, there you go. It's pretty, it's not pretty. That is, oh, man, I can see so much better now. Yeah, so I don't even know if I'm getting surgery next week. I think next week I'm going to have a meeting to see when I'm scheduling surgery for. But, yeah. That is the eye. It's not going well. It's not going well at all.
Oh, my God. Your eyes look terrible. Jeez.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I
Sorry,
appreciate
Cody threw his bone under the couch and he couldn't get it, so I didn't want him to tear up the couch. He's like, your eyes aren't black. Why did you lie to me before the show and say Lady Logic hit you?
Yeah. Well,
that one eye is bad. Yeah, that one is bad. Really, really bad.
Yeah, a friend of mine, he saw me earlier. He was like, ew.
Just like lean into the camera for everybody.
I didn't do a real lean, but yeah.
Imagine that sneaking up on you in a dark alleyway and saying, "You got any shekels?" I'd jump. I'd be terrified.
I don't have the light in my face. I have an overhead light on, but I don't have the light in my face right now. I am thinking about turning off the light, like my overhead light.
You need to get you. Do you have like the blue light lenses in your glasses?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So your computer puts off like the blue light or whatever. It's supposedly bad for your eyes, and you can get lenses for your glasses that stops your eyes from straining.
What you're seeing over here, by the way, is because I have up on the screen right now, the light you see on like the right side of my face is because I have up on the screen like this white screen. If I change this to like a black screen, so now I go into total darkness. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll keep it like this the rest of the way, because I don't know because I'm not gonna be able to have you read to me when I'm like doing locals.
Yeah, I'm not going to locals, buddy. I'm not staying up to like 4 a.m. for locals.
Ain't no way you're coming to locals. I know that. I know that.
That's gonna have to be a huge goal to get me to go to your locals. That place seems terrifying. It does. They get me to say a lot of weird things over there.
I'm gonna have to set up a members only chat also. So no, because I'm gonna have to second chat. I'm gonna have to create a new stream here in order to like actually coordinate for like a locals members only thing. So like I don't want to lose out people being on See tomorrow. So sort of stuck with that. I will share with you this. One of the things I plan on covering in locals, I'm not covering it now, I'm going to cover it on locals and on the members only show, is this pronouncement from Gavin Newsom that we're about to watch here about what he's planning on doing with the slush fund recipients in California.
Wait.
This schmuck. Listen to this schmuck.
One thing that I think we're going to try to do with your support is tax 100%. Anyone from California that receives any of those funds, we want to tax 100% of those proceeds. And that's an action the state of California can take. It's an action we look forward to taking.
Wait, what? So anybody, the fund that we were talking about last week that had Democrats and everybody, had the police officers from the Capitol all scared and shaking in their boots.
That funds, yes.
Anybody that takes that, they're just going to say, that's mine now.
If they're from California. Yeah, that's what they're planning on doing.
Yeah, you know what those people are going to do,
You're asking what funds. So let me clarify. Last week, in case you missed it or you may have heard it and you forgot. So let me just explain what Gavin Newsom is referring to. Last week, there was a settlement agreement that was reached where Trump was suing the United States government, and he was suing them because the IRS had wrongfully disclosed his tax returns back in 2019. So when he sued them, he ended up reaching a negotiation. He came to terms with the United States of America, which outraged the left because they're like, the lawsuit is bogus. It would have been tossed out by the courts, and you got a sweetheart deal from the United States because you control them. And Todd Blanche basically helped you sign off on this deal. So what was the deal that he signed off? He said, okay, I'm giving up my $10 billion lawsuit, which was that's the amount of damages he's claiming. You can say it's correct or not, whatever it is. Exchange, we're going to be setting up a $1.776 billion slush funds, 1.776, like 1776 slush funds for everyone who's been victimized by a weaponized DOJ. So anyone that the Biden administration went after who suffered as a result of them going after him is potentially able to tap into that slush fund, including J6 defendants. The only people who cannot tap into it are Donald Trump and his family. So this way, he's not getting any personal benefit out of this slush fund. And it's basically billions of dollars that the United States of America is setting up this trust fund to basically pay off all these people who have been damaged by a weaponized DOJ, which certainly is meant to include and is intended to include J6 convicted felons who were pardoned and all that other stuff. So the left went nuts on this for a bunch of reasons, some more legitimate than others, but claiming that the lawsuit that Trump filed was frivolous, the negotiation was not an arm's length deal. It's you and Todd Blanche sitting in a back room concocting this lawsuit for the purposes of stealing this money from the U.S. taxpayer. And they also think, obviously, the J6 defendants are all evil incarnate, so they're not entitled to anything. If anything, we should throw them back in prison, and you already wrongfully pardoned them, and now you want to reward them for being insurrectionists. That's the leftist perspective on this. Obviously, anyone who has a brain recognizes that they were not insurrectionists. They were wrong. They were persecuted by a corrupt government under the Biden administration. They probably are entitled to some claims. A legitimate analysis of the legitimacy of his lawsuit it was pretty shaky ground. It was on pretty shaky ground, that lawsuit. In fact, one of the things that happened today is 35 judges came out to try and challenge that settlement. 35 retired judges put together a motion to try and challenge that settlement. I think their challenges are kind of comical because they have no more standing to get relief from the courts than a koala bear. Like, why are you entitled? Where's your standing here? They have no standing. So what Gavin Newsom is saying is, well, any of these people who are collecting that money from that fund, if you live in California, we're taking that money. We're taxing it 100%. Which prompts a lot of people to question, is this legal or is it not? Tim Young saying it's not even remotely legal. For the over 7,000 retards who posted this retarded ass post, he cannot do that, retards. Kimmy weighed in over here, correctly saying someone that this vindictive, punitive, and spiteful should never be anywhere close to power. It's not an ounce of compassion in this sociopath. And this guy here, Georgie Mamula, who says, Gavin is a J6 defendant. I want to personally thank you for this announcement. Please sign it. I will move to California tomorrow, collect my federal settlement, and the moment your state confiscates a single dollar of federal compensation, I will own the most constitutionally airtight lawsuit against California since the Civil Rights era. You just offered me $1 billion gift wrapped in your own ignorance. Here's your free legal education. A state cannot use its tax code to nullify a federal program. That's not an opinion for the Supremacy Clause. That's the Supremacy Clause. Article 4 of the Constitution, you swore to uphold. A 100% tax that confiscates 100% of specific federal payments is not a tax. It is a penalty, and federal courts have reversed states that for exactly this. You don't get to disagree with a federal settlement and legislated out of existence from Sacramento. Okay. The fund is open to every American regardless of politics. In fact, some people were speculating that Hunter Biden could be eligible for this fund. A Democrat targeted by a Republican administration can apply. A journalist whose records were seized can apply. You just announced you're confiscating their compensation too. Congratulations on punishing your own constituents to score a tweet. This gets struck down day one on a supremacy clause grounds. Your AG knows it, your legal team knows it, and you know it. This is a press release disguised as governance, which at this point is the only thing you're actually good at. So I'm here to tell you this. Everyone here is so confident that he doesn't have a legal right to do this. You're not without merit in asserting that claim. I'm just going to tell you this. It's not as crystal clear as Georgie Mamula is making it here. I don't know who this guy is. I've never heard him before. He's a J6 defendant. It's really not nearly as crystal clear as he'd like to make it out to be. I'm going to bring down for you during the fourth hour when I'm doing my locals and members only. I'm going to break it down for you as to why his statement as to what he's going to do here may be completely illegal, or how a court could try to find that it is within their power. And that it might not be a slam dunk, definitely illegal thing for them to do, as a lot of people responding to him seem confident that it is. So, because I actually started looking at the law on this, and I was like, that's pretty funny. Little butthead picture of him.
He does look like butthead. Yeah, the from everything I know about the law is,
You think he's wrong? He doesn't.
No, I don't think he's wrong. I know it's morally it's wrong, but I think it's within their power to do that.
Yeah, I will remind you all to please hit the like button.
Morally, I think it's disgusting, but I do think it's within their legal purview to actually tax that 100%.
Yeah,
or at least very close to it.
Well, I'm gonna break down the preeminent case law on this. I'm not gonna go into the nitty gritty on the case law, but I'll give you like where the genesis of that is, and break that down for you in hour 4. That's gonna be our members only stream. It's gonna be on locals, so make sure you signed up there. I know we just gifted 20 new people toward that, so good on Brian Oldenkamp for that, helping bring people truth and perspective and balance. So that's going to be coming up in hour 4. What I wanted to, I think that before we get out of here, we should do a little manifesto. I haven't done any manifesto this week, and I'm feeling behind.
You gonna go in on the buttercream?
I think we do buttercream tonight.
I
think tonight is buttercream.
That look, it snapped back so quick. I think we're gonna go in on the buttercream tonight. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do, guys. There you go, Joe.
That's what we need to do tonight.
I know when you brought that up, it was rough for you, but
buttercream. We'll definitely cover that tonight. So what I need to do is I need to set up a let me open up Grok.
Mm-hmm.
Let's open up Grok. And I'm going to be multitasking here. This is going to be a very big challenge. So I need to think about one thing, like about the buttercream situation.
While you're setting everything up?
Well, I'm setting up multiple streams in locals and in whatchamacallit, and a new stream for YouTube. So this is going to be a challenge. So the struggle is going to be real, but we'll see what we can do. Let's move this. Do I have diggers? Okay, let's see if we can go find my chat first and foremost. Where is my? Now, for those of you who are unaware as to what the manifesto is, I should give you a brief introduction so that we're all on the same page here. And that is, what I noticed is that when folks get like all heated and they decide to go off half-cocked. Usually they have to drop everything and basically go on their spree of trying to target, kill, whatever, certain individuals or randos. And I could never envision possibly myself ever falling into that role. But then I realized a lot of the people who end up doing that might not find themselves in that role. And it is appropriate that when they go off into crazy land, that they leave behind the manifesto so everyone understands how things got to where they got to and why they're doing the insane action that they're taking. And seeing how terrible a job Alex Cole did this before he tried attacking Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where it just looked like obviously he just like threw that together last minute. I realized that you need to have a manifesto set up in advance. This way, when things go sideways, you're able to just drop and go. Take care, grab the opportunity when it comes, and you can leave behind your manifesto so everyone understands how the world got as messed up as it is. So I do not ever expect to ever find myself in that scenario. I cannot imagine what set of circumstances would put me in a scenario where people will have to read my manifesto. But just in case, like the Boy Scouts, the Boy Scouts advise, be prepared. I'm this way, that much more prepared. Things go sideways, the manifesto is ready to go. So now I basically consult with Grok, and I'm starting to steadily put out piece by piece as to everything wrong with the world today, so that, God forbid, if you ever end up reading about some sort of crazy scenario involving yours truly, which I'm telling you now, I cannot foresee how that would ever happen. But God forbid, if it does unfold, that indeed the world will understand why they had it coming. So with that, I'm going back to, it's time to manifest, Joe. So let's do it. It's time to manifesto. All right. So Grok, it's been a while since I looked at this manifesto. Can you just give me the last page that we have so far?
Here's the last page we have so far, the Thomas Massie rant. These influencers who were so high and mighty, so excited about how Thomas Massie is some kind of savior, these are the same idiots who thought that when we dropped the bombs on Iran last summer, we were about to start World War III with Russia. These are the same idiots whose predictions are about as accurate as your typical climate change alarmist. They're always wrong, and 5 seconds later, they have another prediction they need to give you, and they don't stop yammering in utter ignorance. So many mindless people look up to them as if they have some sort of voice just because they managed to hit the algorithm the right way, when they display a shocking lack of appreciation and understanding as to how politics actually functions, how governments actually function, how elections actually work, or even basic comprehension about interpersonal relationships between world leaders and between different countries. And yet they don't stop yammering on and on and on with this insufferable air of arrogance. And when they are proven wrong, time and time again,
it
they
has
still
to
are
have
convinced that they
appropriate
have it right,
manifesto
and they have a
language.
new
It's
explanation
very
as to why
important.
what they said was actually true. Case in point with respect to Thomas Massie. They were sitting there saying how millions of people were going to rise up and support him. As soon as this guy lost an election where he had been an incumbent and got humiliated in his own primary, you had Dave Smith going out there saying he needs to run for president. As if this guy who can't even win a primary in his own district against a no-name that nobody ever heard of 10 seconds ago is now going to go on the national stage
He's got
and have
this.
some
You
real
got
shot.
this, Thomas
Hypocrite,
Massie.
Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie came out and told us that he's so bothered by the Epstein files. Oh, the Epstein files. We need to know about the Epstein files. Well, here's a news flash for you suckers who thought he actually cared. He duped you. He knew there was nothing in the Epstein files, and he used you for fame. He suckered you for popularity. He suckered you for your stupid dollars that were so easily parted from
Oh,
your
this
wallets.
one Grok didn't
And
even
you know how we can prove
enhance.
this?
This I actually
Because
screamed
this
at
guy,
Grok.
as a member of Congress, had
You remember
access
that?
to the full unredacted Epstein files. If he actually cared about exposing the Epstein list, he would have marched in there, spent a week looking through those files, and then come out on the floor of Congress and read off a list of all the big names who were implicated. Why did he never do that? He never did it because he knew there was nothing there. He knew he would be exposed, but he couldn't come out and say that to his audience because he needed to stir up hate against Trump so he could get his clicks and his based comments. He tried to take the MAGA audience that Trump himself built and sap it out from underneath him, all to make himself look important, because all Thomas Massie has ever cared about is Thomas Massie. That's the most recent page. Want me to read you any of the earlier pages too?
All right, so we got to move on to new topics. And one of the things I mentioned, in case you're interested in having this, part of a manifesto is I make vague references to random people that no one ever heard of before. This way, when people are reading my manifesto, they feel like they need to research. Like, oh my God, who's that? I have a whole page, which I think was like, which I think it just says like, I don't know, like Dorothy Galehouse, you know what you did. I don't even know who the hell that is. But someone paid me for $20. I'm like, hey, if you want to catch my attention by sending a $20 super chat and have your name or someone else's name thrown into the manifesto, I'm going to do it. I'll throw it in there. So there you go. And when this is ultimately published, which I don't know that it ever will be published, maybe it'll never get published, but if in fact it is, there you go. You're part of the publication. And with that, Soldier of Providence came in here and said, Ben Sass's cousin called. He said he has no idea who you are. Add me to your manifesto. Some annoying pest that drove you to this with annoying messages like asking for you to play a lawyer game like Malcolm used to. Okay.
All right.
I can do that. We can definitely throw you in here. Okay. All right. We should talk about the buttercream. You know what the issue is with buttercream?
No, you were explaining it when you first brought it up, and I was like, is there something from your childhood that was there and now isn't there? And you were explaining how it was made, back in the 1800s and how it's changed since then, but you didn't go into great detail.
So my co-host, Sin, reminded me that it's healthy for a good manifesto to reach back into my childhood and address some of the problems that are going on in the world today. When I was a youngin', every year on my birthday, my parents would order a special made cake for me.
Here's a clean version of what you just said.
Talking.
Formatted for
Don't
your
be
manifesto.
talking. Don't be interrupting me. Who the hell do you think you are?
Understood. I'll stay quiet. Go ahead. I'm listening.
That's better. Okay. So when I was a youngin', every birthday, my parents would order a specially made birthday cake for me and my siblings that was tailor-made based on our individual tastes. Now, for me, June 25th, every year, they would get a birthday cake which had vanilla layers, and it had an apricot filling, and it was covered in vanilla buttercream. Now, vanilla buttercream that they made when I was a youngin' was amazing. I cannot begin to describe to you just how this was like if you took some aphrodisiac, you took some sort of perfect food and turned it into perfect sweetness with amazing texture, flavor. It wasn't quite marshmallow. It wasn't quite butter. It was some sort of blend thereof. And the texture was just this amazing thing also. And somewhere along the way, somewhere, sometime, I don't know why, I don't know how, I don't know who got the power, the access to the powers, the levers of power. They basically decided that they're going to just change how they make buttercream. You cannot get vanilla buttercream today like you used to get when I was a kid. I don't know, they have some sort of cheap knockoff. I don't know if it's coming from Japan. I don't know if it's coming from some sort of third world country that they have little kids who are all sitting there with these little mixing bowls putting together their stupid, awful, plastic tasting buttercream. It is disgusting and awful. It tastes like toothpaste. I literally feel like I'm taking a bottle of Crest and just basically grabbing the end of it, putting the tip into my mouth and just sort of squishing it in there. And I'm like, ew, what the heck am I eating here? So instead of having like literally the most favorite food that I would save to have only once a year, now, no. Instead, it's replaced by the most revolting, disgusting, awfully flavored thing. I don't know if it's mass produced. I don't know if there's some sort of assembly line of people who are putting together this disgusting AIM toothpaste thing that they want to call vanilla buttercream, but it is not the same thing. Just because you call it the same thing, you give it the same label, and I order up, and I'm like, hey, I need a cake that's covered in vanilla buttercream. And you're like, oh, sure, we're gonna put together. It's like they got that modem thing that they use for designing cakes or something. I don't know what the hell they're doing there. It's definitely not the vanilla buttercream that we used to have. I weep for the millennials. I weep for the Zoomers, because you have never ever in your life had actually delicious, amazing, sweet food like vanilla buttercream. You never had it, you never will. And perhaps this is one of the reasons that you feel so deprived and so put upon, because if you had ever actually eaten this food in your life, you would feel like you had been living a full and satisfactory existence. And sadly, you never had that. You never had that. I feel terribly deprived that I will never again have anything that remotely tastes like the vanilla buttercream I had as a kid. And it's such a pathetic shame that for one reason or another, we allowed our society to devolve into a place where you cannot get something as simple, as basic, and essential and necessary as properly flavored and mixed vanilla buttercream.
Here's your text cleaned up and formatted properly for your manifesto. When I was a youngin', every year on my birthday, my parents would order a specially made birthday cake for me and my siblings based on our individual tastes. For me, every June 25th, they would get a cake with vanilla layers, apricot filling, and covered in vanilla buttercream. That vanilla buttercream was something I cannot even begin to describe to you. It was pure perfection. It wasn't quite marshmallow, it wasn't quite butter, it was some heavenly blend of both. The texture, the sweetness, the flavor, it was the single greatest thing I ever ate as a child. I looked forward to it all year long, and then somewhere along the way, they ruined it. I don't know who gave them the right. I don't know when it happened or how they got away with it, but they changed how they make vanilla buttercream. What they serve today is an absolute abomination. It tastes like toothpaste, like someone took a bottle of Crest, shoved the tube in your mouth, and squeezed. It's plastic.
Yeah, honestly, I think mine was better.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't just copy yours word for word almost.
Yeah, mine was better. But I forgot to get Soldier of Providence.
Way to fumble the ball, Joe.
I didn't get Soldier of Providence.
No, you didn't. I should have reminded you. It's my bad.
Yeah.
My bad. Look, I don't know what to do now that you can see. All right. I was just trying to lead you through the darkness.
You feel almost like you're Captain Dunstall. You're just a useless, extraneous part. And there's nothing you can add. All right. Grok, I'd like you to just rip up all that crap you gave me and just take down what I wrote and use that word for word.
Here's your original words.
Don't read it back to
up
me.
Only for basic grammar.
Don't read it back to me. Just make it so. Oh, and do one more thing though. Nah, don't. I'll figure out the Soldier of Providence thing on my own. Just do what I did. Okay, just give me that. Okay. All right, so they're just basically writing up the whole thing here now. So I'm going to have to do another quick rant for Soldier of Providence here. What do you think? Give me a quick topic.
Oh, off the rip, I mean, I brought you the buttercream thing, man. I've been remembering that for a month now. What more do you want from me?
You did remember that for a month. Was it worth it? Was it worth it?
It was, yeah, no, it was great. It was perfection. So, what else?
Oh, I have it.
Okay.
This is, I'm going to go into pure manifesto mode here. Okay, I need to add on to that part that I wrote, and we're only using the part that I wrote, not like what you wrote, because what you wrote was utter dreck. It was terrible. It was garbage. It was just like a watered down version of the manifesto section I gave you. And frankly, I'm a little disappointed in you. I'm expecting better from you in the future. But I need to go on and just finish that section off. So we're going to take what I put earlier, and we're just going to tack this part on into this, into the buttercream section. You understand?
Understood. Go ahead and give me the new part you want to add on to the buttercream section. Just speak it naturally, and I'll tack it directly onto the end of your original words without adding any of my own writing.
It could be that the reason that the world lost buttercream was it was a purposefully designed objective to come after me. There seems to be this cabal of people out there, like Soldier of Providence, who are all about just finding one way after another to try and vex the heck out of me because it gives them their jollies. They get some sort of sick, perverted pleasure out of trying to just needle and stick their nose in where it doesn't belong with their stupid little opinions and their little perspectives. And frankly, these folks like Soldier of Providence would be completely thrilled by the idea that they managed to deprive me of actually flavorable, tasty vanilla buttercream. So perhaps this is not just something that's part of the overall twisting of the world, where all of a sudden now we just have to make things a little worse than it was last year. Maybe this really is just the world's objective of trying to find ways to just mess with Joe. Let's just find some new way. How can we basically make his life a little bit suckier than it was yesterday? Thank you so very much, Soldier of Providence, and every one of you scummy people who are like him.
Here's your new part added on, written in your own words. When I was a youngin', every year on my birthday, my parents would order a specially made birthday cake for me and my siblings that was tailor-made based on our individual tastes. Now, for me, June 25th, every year, they would get a birthday cake which had vanilla layers, and it had an apricot filling.
Everything's about me.
Vanilla buttercream.
Nothing else matters.
Now, vanilla
it's all about me.
that they made when I was a youngin' was amazing. I cannot begin to describe to you just how this was like if you took some aphrodisiac, you took some sort of perfect food and turned it into perfect sweetness with amazing texture, flavor. It wasn't quite marshmallow. It wasn't quite butter. It was some sort of blend thereof. And the texture was just this amazing thing also. And somewhere along the way, somewhere, sometime, I don't know why, I don't know how, I don't know who got the power, the access to the levers of power. They basically decided that they're going to just change how they make buttercream. You cannot get vanilla buttercream today like you used to get when I was a kid. I don't know. They had some sort of cheap knockoff. I don't know if it's coming from Japan. I don't know if it's coming from some sort of third world country that they have little kids who are all sitting there with these little mixing bowls, putting together this stupid, awful, plastic tasting buttercream. It is disgusting and awful. It tastes like toothpaste. I literally feel like I'm taking a bottle of Crest and just basically grabbing the end of it, putting the tip into my mouth and just sort of squishing it in there. And I'm like, ew, what the heck am I eating here? It could be that the reason that the world lost buttercream was it was a purposefully designed objective to come after me. There seems to be this cabal of people out there, like Soldier of Providence, who are all about just finding one way after another to try and vex the heck out of me because it gives them their jollies. They get some sort of sick, perverted pleasure out of trying to just needle and stick their nose in where it doesn't belong with their stupid little opinions and their little perspectives. And frankly, these folks like Soldier of Providence would be completely thrilled by the idea that they managed to deprive me of actually flavorable, tasty vanilla buttercream. So perhaps this is not just something that's part of the overall twisting of the world, where all of a sudden now we just have to make things a little worse than it was last year. Maybe this really is just the world's objective of trying to find ways to just mess with Joe. Let's just find some new way. How can we basically make his life a little bit suckier than it was yesterday? Thank you so very much, Soldier of Providence, and every one of you scummy people who are like him. Locked in. Want to keep going with the next part?
It was solid. It was very, very solid. All right. I think it's time for me to land the plane. Now, I should give you all a link over to like the other thing, which I don't have set up yet. So why don't you spend 5 minutes telling everyone just how great your channel is while I finish.
My channel is amazing. Look, I've got a lot of fun people over there. We talk about a lot of fun, crazy folks. There's a guy currently in Australia that does not like me, that is trying to go to the police every week and arrest me for watching his show because he's a crazy person. We do cover the things like the Chrissy Mayer stuff. I know a lot of people were saying sort of forgive her and all that stuff. True, perfectly fine. But it is news. You need to cover it. And make sure everybody knows what's going on in the community. And you guys can come watch that. We stream every Friday through Monday, normally about 6:30 Central Standard Time on FFS Cast. It's great. If you have any ideas for what you would like to cover or anything you would like to pick my brain about, you are more than welcome to find me on Twitter at Ambient Aristotle or Stimulated Sin. I will follow you back, and you can send me any sort of ideas that you would like me or the guys to discuss, because we have a great group of guys over there. So.
Well, I actually have questions for you.
Yeah.
And that is, what time is it now? It's now 1:29. So I gotta set this up for 1:40.
Yeah,
12:30 your time. So I just gotta set this up for 1:40. Yeah, the question I have for you is, you said that you've been going after the Quartering for what he did.
Yes.
Were you a Quartering fan beforehand?
I was a long time ago. I sort of fell off on the Quartering when every issue became about transgenders. He went on this run of like, everything's the trans this, trans that, and wasn't discussing like the actual topics. And then I noticed him sort of doing this rinse and repeat content where I was like, what's up, guys? Transgenders are bad. Casey, you bye. And I was like, well, that's just, you're not giving me any news.
It was lazy.
It was lazy. It was uninspired. It was lazy. And then I sort of went back and I saw that I sort of done research into Jeremy Hambley, and he was grifting the entire time. Like every sort of thing that he could figure out to do a YouTube channel about, he had. So I went, oh, well, that's what this guy is. He's just a YouTuber. He doesn't care about any of this. And then he found out his coffee brand coffee was, because he was raging against like, the LGBTQ and all that. His coffee brand coffee company was ran by some lesbians.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was that. And I was like, you're just a hypocrite, man. I can't. And it's not
what
so
happened.
much
Did they shut him out, or
no, he still does it. He supposedly now does it all in-house. Like when he started that company, he's like, oh yeah, my mom runs it. She does all the roasting and picking of the beans and everything else. And then he was like, come to find out, it was a white labeled coffee company that was ran by a couple of lesbians who donated their money to the LGBTQ and transgender funds. And I was like, oh, you come on, man. What are you doing, Jeremy? But then and it's not so much the fact that you can be wrong or have an opinion or disagree or change your mind later, right? You can see something at one time and go, you know what? I was wrong about that. Change your mind. He was just always grifting. And I finally was like, I can't give you my support, man. I can't whatsoever. So
I never found him to be a grifter personally. But I haven't watched a stream of his in a very, I don't know if I've ever watched a stream of his. I watched some of his videos.
Mm-hmm.
But
he just, I never made it to his streams except for when he was streaming with, what's the girl that was from Blaze Media? I can't remember her name. Sydney Watson. I watched a couple of their streams and that was it. By the time I stopped being a fan of his, it was around 2020, and I was like, this guy's just not. not giving me what I need for actual news. There was no like, here's the news and then here's my opinion. It was just here's what I think, and that's it. So
you felt like there's not enough like actual stuff.
yeah, where you will give us the actual story and then go, here's my opinion. Let me, like earlier, here's a great example where earlier we were discussing a topic. You went ahead and done a poll in the chat. You said, I'm not going to give you my opinion until the chat gives me theirs. I don't want to sway the opinion of the audience. You know what I mean? Like there was none of that stuff. It was just, it always just felt grifty to me. So
I feel you. Soldier of Providence is saying, not Soldier of Providence seems too anti-military. Tony from Rhode Island or a random name. I'll change it in the final edit. I can't really go back into it right now, but I'll change it to Tony from Rhode Island because I think it's actually kind of funnier. Yeah, I think so. That's fine. That's fine. I'll change. I hear what you're saying, and I like that you want to maintain the respect for the military. And the other thing I can tell you is my stream is up now. I managed to get miraculously. I managed to get all this up and running. Why don't I see it here? There it is.
Somebody says, forgive Chrissy. So our latest script of keeping super chats on while she premiered a video. Oh yeah. This is another thing she did when she was supposed to make up for the super chat she didn't read for the Melanie Mac show. She set it to subscriber mode only for like 8 days. And so you could only ask her a question about that stream through super chats. And she made like $5,000 total off of these streams. It was great.
What wait, on what topic?
It was so she had interviewed Melanie Mac is the co-host with the Quartering, and she completely like co-signs all this striking of channels, whether good, bad, or indifferent, right? She agrees with it. And then Chrissy Mayer, Melanie Mac had not been popping her head out in public doing any other shows, and so she went to Chrissy Mayer's show, and people obviously wanted to ask her about the Quartering, and it got a little heated, the super chats, and so she didn't finish them. So she was going to do an apology sort of makeup super chat show, and she made her chat subscriber mode only for like so many hours. Like you had to have subscribed to her channel, so nobody could be in the chat asking questions about that show unless you super chatted her. And she raked in over $2,500 because people were just sort of berating her about the striking and the Quartering and Melanie Mac. Look, I mean, I respect the hustle. I'm not gonna lie, but it didn't do anything for her reputation around people who now think she's a bad person. So,
I feel you.
I don't think she's a bad person. I just think she stepped into a beehive thinking she would make a lot of super chats because Melanie Mac was a hot topic, and she didn't realize how hot of a topic it was for the community.
A lot hotter than she was anticipating.
Way hotter. Wait, $5,000 worth of super chats asking questions hot.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. All right, well, I have put up in the in your chats over here links to my stream, which is going to be starting at 1:40 a.m. 1:40 a.m. It's our members only show where I'm going to be talking about the legality of Gavin Newsom being able to take 100% of all your slush fund proceeds if you're a J6 defendant, which is an astonishing claim that he was making. I also have some other funny stuff that I want to share with you that I'm going to share over in Locals. Again, that's going to be starting at 1:40. The link is in the description. It's in the chat. It's not in the description yet. It's in the chat. I'm putting it into the description now so that you can all find it. And I'm going to be over there in less than 5 minutes. So I'm going to urge you. Oh, I should redirect. Oh, of course. Why wouldn't I redirect? Definitely redirect. That's smart. Have a brain here, Joe. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I almost forgot that. That would have been terrible. Let me redirect. So I got to go here, save this, Control C, and now redirect this over. That's how you do it. Customization. I almost forgot to redirect. Wow. I don't redirect myself. Who would I redirect to? All right.
I'll just start doing a stream after this show. super tired sin. Everybody just goes over to my channel and can berate me about my political takes and being a Baptist. It'd be great. Be fantastic.
Very exciting. And Sin put in the chat like the link to his channel, assuming I wouldn't have it. And he doesn't know the respect and admiration I have for him, that I actually put a link to his channel in before the show started.
Look at that. First time in 6 months.
I have never done that for him or Jim. In fact, I don't think I've done it for anyone who didn't have a channel that wasn't twice my size. I don't think I've ever done it before. So that was mad props. Well,
I appreciate it. No, I do. I love coming over here, man. It really does allow me to step away from like the tomfoolery and shenanigans that we get up to on my show
and have serious conversation.
Actual serious adult conversation. I truly appreciate it. And chat, you guys have been great to me. There's a lot of you that come over there and super chat me and support me and pay attention to the shenanigans and dumb stuff we talk about. And I'm eternally grateful. You guys helped me get monetized. Thank you. Thank you.
If you're looking for people who are basically intelligent, funny, and are kind enough to wave politely at retarded people on the street,
yeah,
that's my crew right here.
Yeah,
and you're the beneficiary of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thank you all for joining me. I'm heading on over to my members only stream. Link is in the description. Link is pinned to chat. I hope you'll join me over there for the members only stream. We're gonna continue this party going on. Until then, those of you who are not able to join me, I understand. The love remains the same. We'll remind you that lab meat was never meant for you. For you, it's meant for they, them. You have anything else you want to? Did I cut you off?
Okay, bye.
Do not eat the bugs. Good night. Godspeed.